Good afternoon there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the LG Ultragear TEC Gauntlet Season 2, powered by WD Black and AMD Ryzen Radeon. I'm your host, Assassin Force, and with me on the desk are analysts and casters, Floki and Salty. How are you guys doing? Starting with you, Salty, because, it's been some time since we had you on the desk.
Yeah, it has been some time, but I'm doing great. It's good to be back and I'm ready for some nice Valorant action, man.
Definitely, we all are, and we're going to be going ahead and taking a look at today's matchups. And I'm definitely sure of the fact that you guys are going to absolutely love this one because the first match of the day, right, at 1 p.m., we are going to be taking a quick look at what exactly Force One Esports are going to do against the side of Cohesion. Or is it the other way around? Are we about to see Team Cohesion, what exactly they are going to do against Force One Esports? Because we know for a fact that Team Cohesion, if you guys don't know, they are ex Inazuma. So yeah, really looking forward to seeing what they are going to do on the server. And then for the second half of the day, we are going to be seeing Flame X Serenity going up against Godlike Esports. So yeah, two amazing games. Floki, what do you think about
Yep.
today?
Oh man, today is pretty good. I mean, you get to see Force One, then you get to see Godlike Esports. I don't think anyone's complaining. I think everyone's going to be happy. Just watching Force One, they made it to the lower bracket finals last time around, lost out to Velocity. This time around, they're probably going to look to, get to the playoffs once again, and this is definitely a team that can get there. The only issue that they might have is that, they might have some trouble during the group stages. I remember for them, it was never really an issue with their play. It was more of a mental issue. So hopefully they've had some time to work on that and fix it up, so that they don't blow 12-0 leads and, yeah, they don't end up losing so many rounds in a row and eventually the map as well.
Definitely. So let's take a quick look at the group standings now and see what exactly is the story cooking up over there. Because we know for a fact that today is day 3 of the LG Ultragear TEC Gauntlet Season 2, powered by WD Black and AMD Ryzen Radeon. This is the early stages, and we know for a fact that all of these teams are going to put their respective wins. And after that, they are going to, climb up the board as well. So yeah, interestingly, I'm looking forward to seeing what Cohesion and Team Force One Esports are going to do against each other as well. And yeah, like the group standings are going to give you a little bit more understanding as to where exactly all of these teams are standing right now. So yeah, Team Cohesion and Force One Esports is their first game in season 2. And interestingly, Global Esports, they went ahead and got that victory yesterday. So they are sitting at the first spot. Team Exo following them on the second spot. FS Esports and August 5, well, they were not so fortunate to go ahead and put up their first victory right off the bat. So they're going to be losing a game each, and they're going to be in the third spot. Now it's time for us to decide who exactly is going to go ahead and climb the board as well. Is it going to be Force One? Is it going to be Cohesion? Salty, what do you think?
You know what? The board looks interesting. I mean, a lot of good teams in this group. I can't really say which are the 4 teams who will proceed to the playoffs, but if you look at them, I feel like this is a very early stage of the season. And that being said, I feel like it's really important for teams to put strong foot forward at this point. I guess they cannot really give out games in that way. And yep.
Floki, again,
Yep.
I wanted to ask you this. We know for a fact that Global Esports and Exo, they are sitting at the top of the table.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Throughout the overall Group B standings, right? What do you think? Who exactly might have the chance to go ahead? I mean, we know for a fact that Global Esports definitely are a pretty good team, but who exactly do you think is going to be at the second spot? Like, any predictions, any guesses before we jump straight into the team
Um,
spotlight?
has to be Force One in my opinion. Force One Team
Hmm.
X, so one of those. I
Hmm.
feel like Valor is also gonna sneak into the top 4. They might struggle a little bit here and there, but I think if I had to pick a top 4 for this group, at top 2 I'd place Global Esports. Second place would probably be X or F1, and then fourth place would be Valor. Although Valor could have worked their magic, they could have had some more time to improve. I know I've had an opportunity to look at Valor multiple times, and I feel like Valor really has a lot of potential. to cause some upsets. They're the kind of squad who can pull off a win against Global, or who can pull off a win against Velocity. You never see it coming, that sort of thing. But a lot about the performance left something to be desired. So I hope they've fixed that eventually. But yeah, top two Global Esports, second place XOR F1, followed by Valor.
Interesting. So yeah, Force One, they definitely are going to be looking to go ahead and get that spot as well, the second spot, because we know for a fact that they had a pretty rough start for season one of the Gauntlet, and now throughout the season one, even in the playoffs, they gave a tough fight. And it's going to be time for us to talk a little bit more about Force One Esports, and their team spotlight is right in front of our eyes. And I want Salty to go ahead and give out his opinions on this side of Force One Esports, and what exactly do you think is going to be, sort of a trick for them to get the win against Cohesion today?
You know what? They don't need a trick, honestly, because Force One, they have expressed themselves multiple times. They have fought top tier teams in the country, and they've come out on good sides of it. So, to be honest, this squad is capable of really making their place in top tier Valorant in India. But yeah, they've been knocking at the doors. They've been missing out on a couple of times, and I feel like that final third in the game is something which has been troubling them. Securing that victory has been kind of troubling them in terms of getting that mental fortitude and just finishing things the way they start, right? They do start strong. RVK, Night Rider, these guys are so exceptionally skilled. They don't need tricks. They don't really need something extraordinary to get victories on board. They are so skilled in terms of be it their mechanics, be it their strategies. They're pretty good side, honestly. And when they go out in the battlegrounds, I feel like they just need to have good coordination and they will get that victory. But yep, it's really important for them to kind of start strong because just like you mentioned in the first season, they kind of faced a lot of troubles in the early stages of the group. So just like Floki said, if they start strong, they might come up on the number two spot.
That's completely true. I mean, Force One Esports, we know for a fact that these guys have made a lot of change as well in their entire lineup, and lineup as in not the roster, not the players, but in terms of how exactly they play around each map. And they have sort of changed their composition. They've tweaked it out a little bit, tweaked out their strats, and now they look like a better unit. And we know for a fact that usually they tend to go ahead and play it out for the retakes when they're in the defense. On the attack, they're super aggressive. And yeah, we really are expecting some interesting stuff coming out from the side of Force One Esports, and we want them to make their way into the playoffs and just go ahead and shine throughout the upper brackets, not in the lower brackets. But yeah, moving on over towards the side of Team Cohesion now, let's take a look at their team spotlight and their team intro and figure out what exactly the lineup looks like for the side of Team Cohesion. And Floki, I want to ask you this. We know about ex Inazuma, right? But
Yes.
the thing is that now with a new name, would you
Mhm.
expect them to perform a lot more better? Would you expect them to shine?
I think that this is lineup that definitely has that potential for quite a while now, but they've never really realized it. Was a roster swap necessary? Was a bit of a change up in the lineup necessary? I'm not sure. I wasn't in the team, so I can't say for that. But what I can say is that the team cohesion and synergy, while it was there, it just seemed that individually sometimes they tended to struggle, and I feel like maybe this might be a way to fix that. Just getting a new player who's really good individually, getting him to mesh with the team in a little bit. Because when you talk about team cohesion, it's just the name is so perfect for me because every single time I've seen them, their victories, their round wins have been playing on the back of each other. It really hasn't been individual performance by any of them. Even though we see SK fired up, really frag out a couple of times, it all comes down to how they communicate and how they talk to each other. And I feel like that's one of the biggest strengths for cohesion. Will bringing in another star fragger add to their firepower? Absolutely, but does this mean that they have to start from scratch and build up their synergy again? I think that's also going to be a big yes. So overall, I feel like the pros and cons just balance out, and you're left with something that's new. You didn't really gain a strength or lose a weakness per se. You just traded it for something else.
Sort of on the neutral ground, isn't it?
Yeah, something
Yeah,
like that.
something like that. And yeah, Team Cohesion. Uh, we always knew the fact that they had a lot of firepower, right? But at the same time, the only factor that they kind of were lacking was the fact that they were not able to outplay their opponents, especially opponents like Global Esports, or you take Velocity Gaming, you take Team Exo. these are the times when they sort of struggle a lot because they're not able to outplay or outperform their opponents because they're just way too good and they have been playing this game from quite some time. But Team Cohesion, these guys are, I won't say pretty new, but at the same time they're not that experienced to just go ahead and pull off these high big brain plays as well. But yeah, with Nike Zera as their IGL, I feel like that, Nike Zera, we know this, especially me and you, Floki.
Yeah.
We have seen Nike Zera in his previous days and how he used to, lead the team to victory as well.
Other tactical shooters.
Other tactical shooters, yes. But yeah, like Nike Zera is a damn good IGL. Like the guy has a lot of experience when it comes to leading the team
Yeah.
to victory. But at the same time, uh, in this particular game, he kind of is still figuring out his ways. So hopefully, Team Cohesion throughout season 2, they adapt and evolve, and they prove to be definitely a force to be reckoned with. But with that, we come at the end of the team intros and team spotlights. Now it's time for us to talk about the battleground, the battlefield. And we are going to be jumping straight into the map veto. We're going to be seeing what sort of maps are going to be played between both of these teams. So we're going to be starting off with the map of Haven. We're going to be
Okay,
jumping straight in
wow.
towards Ascent. And the decider is going to be split. Now, I kind of knew that Haven is going to be in there because Cohesion, that is XE Nazuma, their favorite map was Haven. And in a best of 1, in a best of 3, in a best of 5, they always have a Haven in there. Like there's no doubt whatsoever. So, Salty, I want to ask you this: what do you think about the map veto?
I feel like since there's a Haven in there, uh, in spite of the fact that Inazuma is pretty good on this map, I feel like that can be a 50-50 because Force 1, sure, the Ascent is pretty strong, but the fact that they start on Haven also kind of puts a lingering thought in their mind that, oh, wait, we can also get the victory on the map of Haven. So I feel like it's a risky pick for, especially to start the best of 3 for Team Cohesion, but if it really works for them, it kind of sets them up. But if Team Force 1 can, push them to get this victory on Haven, I feel like it's going to be a walk in the park for them in Ascent.
Yeah, Haven is a map where team cohesion is actually going to shine, but at the same time, Force One Esports' defense is something that we know is way too good on the map of Haven. So I want your opinions on that, Floki. What do you think is going to be that X factor that cohesion have to bring on board in order to beat down Force One Esports?
You have to be aware of Knight Rider. I mean, this man on his jet and the operator, he shines so many times. He just frags up for his team when they need him to, and he's sharp as ever. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be a big, big factor. Just, making sure that you win the pistols and that the tempo is under your control. And that even if Knight Rider is able to get his hands on that operator, he really only gets like 1 or 2 realistic shots at that. Right? I mean, he only gets like 1 or 2 opportunities to make things happen. And if they correctly manage to evade him, if they correctly manage to evade his op and get into a decent position, then he's essentially going to be forced to save, and you pretty much end up going into that treacherous loop of saving and then saving again and then saving again and not really finding all that much impact with the operator. So I hope they look out for that. But I wouldn't go ahead and say that Force One is someone that you need to discount on Haven on either side, really. I feel like the team is very, very strong, and their potential to just take this by big round difference is also really up there. I'd say they can easily put up a 5 to 6 round difference against Cohesion if they have worked on their errors since the playoffs.
Also, to add on that, I feel like
Yeah.
Team Force One is a kind of team that is super, super good in their eco rounds, especially
Oh
RVK
yeah.
and their Sheriff. So, like, that also kind of adds on to that bonus, right? They can get those frags in their eco rounds, they can dent the opponent's economy, or probably even bag a thrifty as well. So, everything working together, this can be Team Force One's map. But again, Cohesion, they have a possibility of winning this.
I mean, economy management is something that Cohesion have to be very careful about as well. And if they are not, then maybe Team Force One Esports might just go ahead and walk away with the win on all of these maps. And I feel like that RVK, like it was a good point to bring up as well, Salty. Like RVK has always been a pistol god. Like you give a sheriff to this man, you give a ghost to this man, he's just gonna go ahead and pop off. Like that's a sort of mastery RVK brings on board as well, not only with the assault rifles but also with the pistols. It's pretty proficient.
Yeah.
Well, with that, we sort of got the entire idea as to how exactly this match is gonna go. Let's talk about predictions. Floki, your predictions for
Ooh.
this particular game.
Um, 2-1 Force 1. Maybe
Okay.
Cohesion can pick up a map.
All right, all right. And which map do you think is Cohesion gonna pick?
Probably Ascent, I feel. I mean, Force 1 has a history on the map, if you
Yeah.
remember correctly. So,
Yeah, I do, I do.
yeah, no. But
Uh,
I feel like Ascent is the only real map where Cohesion has a chance.
all right, Salty, what are your predictions for the match between Force One Esports and Cohesion?
Generally, I'm supposed to stay on the fence, but since you asked me,
Mhm.
gonna take this a bit risky. 2-0
You
Force
can,
One.
you can. I mean, nobody's gonna say anything.
I don't think that's risky. I think that's actually a safe bet. I feel like Force 1 have a good chance of taking
Yeah.
this 2-0.
Yeah.
Now, you know
More
what's
like,
risky? Saying 2-1 Cohesion.
yeah, that is risky. Saying 2-1 Cohesion is risky, but saying 2-0 Force One is kind of safe. So I feel like Salty is trying to play with the minds.
Yeah.
And yeah, like interesting, good stuff, Salty. But yeah, I think so. It might be a 2-1 in the favor of Force One Esports. So yeah, I'm kind of gonna
Okay.
go with Floki there, 2-1 Force One Esports, and I feel like that Cohesion might take away the map of Haven. Like I feel like Cohesion have the chance of going ahead and taking up the map of Haven as well because they have been practicing on that particular map from quite some time now. And yeah, you're not wrong when you said Force One have a history on Ascent, right, Floki?
Yeah.
So hopefully, let's hope that Force for Esports, well, they're feeling good today. They're feeling lucky, and they've got their aim on point as well, so that they can go ahead and take the win against the side of Cohesion. And wishing both the teams all the best, and may the best team win. With that, we come to an end of the analyst desk of the LG Ultragear TEC Gauntlet Season 2, powered by WD Black and AMD Ryzen Radeon. Please go ahead and check out all the links down in the description below. Get yourself some upgrades from our sponsors, LG Ultragear, WD Black, and AMD Ryzen Radeon. You definitely don't want to miss out on these offers, so please go ahead, check out the links down in the description below. So, yeah, with that, we are going to be right back after the message from our sponsors. The casters for the day are going to be Floki and Salty. These guys are going to narrate the entire story for you guys. Until then, you guys were watching the LG Ultragear TEC Gauntlet Season 2, powered by WD Black and AMD Ryzen Radeon. We're going to be right back after a short break.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to LG Ultragear presents the Esports Club Gauntlet Season 2, powered by WD Black and AMD Ryzen Radeon. My name is Luki. Joining me for this one is going to be Salty. Real quick, you want to get yourself a Red Bull, make sure you scan that QR code and you can have a Red Bull of your own. But yeah, with that out of the way, Salty, Force 1 going up against Team Cohesion. You said you're going to play it a little bit risky, you call it a 2-0. If Cohesion were to win a map, in your eyes, which one would it be?
I feel like honestly it's probably going to be Ascent because Ascent has been topsy turvy. Sure, Force One has a history, just like you mentioned. They can
Hmm?
choke on that map. They are pretty strong on Ascent, but then when you're strong on one map, you definitely have the risk of choking. And Ascent is one map, Loki, where every single team has played. Right, no one can come in an Indian Valorant tournament. No team can come in an Indian Valorant tournament and say, I don't have a strong Ascent. Everybody loves that map. Everybody has played it thousands of times. So I feel like if Cohesion, they have to win a map, it's probably going to be Ascent.
Yeah. And I think Ascent is also one of those maps where you just look at it and you go like, well, we have a strong Ascent, but then that the enemy team probably has even stronger Ascent. So you sort of get stuck in this trap. You don't really want to pick Ascent. But yeah, now Ascent is Force One's pick. I imagine all the memes aside that they know that when they just have to get one more round and they just need to go for the home run, they can do it. They don't really have to be too worried. Um, but that out of the way, though, Assassin mentioned something about Haven being strong for team cohesion. Now, that's where things get a little interesting for me because Force One, I've seen them perform really well on Haven. I haven't really seen X Inazuma or now known as Cohesion play that map very often. I think I got them playing that map once, and when I
Mhm.
did, I don't think they managed to snag a win. So yeah, maybe it's because I don't really have an objective viewing of what Cohesion have done. But in my eyes, I don't think they have a strong Their Haven is as strong as Force One's Haven either. Uh, that out of the
Should
way
be.
though,
Should be.
yeah. Uh, real quick, Salty, Split being the decider. What's your thoughts on that? I mean, that's definitely new for me, and I'm excited to see it. I kind of wanted to go to three maps. Do you?
Honestly, I feel like having Haven and Ascend first up, Split kind of lacks that possibility of being played. I feel like it shouldn't really go to that third map decider, but the fact that it is, I feel like Ascend and Split play out so similar. The team that's going to win on Ascend will have the upper hand on Split because, again, in both the maps, you have a very dominant mid control. You have to get it. You have to pinch it from either sides as well. I guess especially on Split, it's your duelists who play a more aggressive role. They
Yep.
play a bit crucial role than on Ascent. But yeah, I mean the general play out of both the maps are quite similar. So in case, in case Team Cohesion can win on Ascent, they will have an opportunity on Split. But saying that, I kind of also talk about the fact that I feel like Haven is going to go down in the hands of Team Force One.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, Haven does seem like the kind of map that Force One should be able to take. I mean, I've mentioned that time and time again. But speaking of Asian composition, now this is something that Force One have tried in the past. Didn't really work out for them, but I want your thoughts on it, Salty. I've seen them pick
Uh,
up the Sova and the Sky. They've gone for the double initiator setup. What's your opinion on that?
I feel like that's good. We don't have enough information on which agents they're gonna pick lately, but yeah, on Haven it can work out. We have seen teams play double initiator compositions on the map of Bind quite a lot. We have seen teams go no duelist as well, but in the map of Haven, I feel like Sova is definitely compulsory. A Sky can work out as well. I mean, you can play out a Sky or a Breach, it doesn't really matter, but yeah, the presence of few duelists is really important. I feel like a Phoenix or a Jet is essential, especially for taking those aggressive angles and falling back. I mean, the Jet with the AWP on the C side or maybe on the A side is really, really crucial. The presence of an Astra is important as well. I feel like watching international Valorant, I feel like Astra has become a staple right now,
Yeah.
especially talking about Fnatic's Boaster. He has just made Astra compulsory in Haven. So I feel like Astra should be there. It might be an Omen as well, but it, you always talk about the controllers, the duelists, and in the end, you're left with only a single initiator. So double initiator pick can work out, but then who do you trade off? That's the lingering question.
Yeah. I agree with that sentiment. I feel like usually if you do end up going for double initiator setups, you also sort of end up needing a sentinel and a controller. Double initiators is one of those things that seems good on paper because it's always nice to have two initiators on two different parts of the map when you're on
Yeah.
defense, making sure that you can always flash out or you can always get some information and always just delay the push a little bit or maybe get a pick and back off safely, wait for your team to arrive. It sounds really good in theory, but I haven't seen it work out in practice as well, which is why I feel like double controller is tried test. It stood the test of time. It's vanilla. It's vanilla for a reason, and it's because just being able to delay the enemy team for sure, just by blocking their vision off with something like a Brimstone and an Astra, is very very valuable. Apart from that, though, I feel like sometimes teams don't really like to experiment a lot. With the Brimstone, I feel like Brimstone can definitely see a lot more play in general. That Molotov is really really good, and that Stim Beacon is surprisingly underrated in my opinion. I feel like if you pair it up with certain weapons like the Ares, you can have a really, really strong weapon in your hand for the time being. You can span through walls. You can really get a lot of kills that you otherwise might not have gotten. Even in those rounds where you're trying to save up, you're trying to have a bonus for yourself. Throwing down a stim beacon and having two specters going up against sort of like one vandal or even two vandals at once, you have a shot of winning those fights.
True that. True that. But I mean, lately, Ulban has become sort of irrelevant, Floki. But I
Yeah,
mean, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if Brimstone is going to be there. But talking about double controllers, does it really play an effect on a map like Haven? Because on a map of Haven, a Sage is a compulsion, right? You need a Sage. You need those walls. You need
yeah.
a Sentinel as well in the form of another Sentinel in the form of KJ or a Cypher. And looking at Force One, I'm probably sure that RPK is going to pick up that Cypher or a KJ. Right, you already have two players done and dusted. You need a duelist in the form of a Jet, maybe. I don't think they're gonna go double duelist. I feel like the composition doesn't allow for one. You
Mhm.
need a
Yeah.
Sova, and you have one final pick, and you got to pick in controller, right? So that should be my default pick. You need a Sage because if you compromise on that Sage, you give the opposition that extra breathing room to work about, right? I'm talking about defense primarily because imagine this: Haven is a three-sided map, right? You live one avenue open, and the opposition is going to barge through it. The siege wall gives you that sort of a safety net around you, and it kind of allows you to leave one side empty and just kind of focus on the others. So it does allow you that freedom to kind of work around different ways. So that is one of the reasons why it is a must pick on my composition.
I see. So Sage, huh? Okay, fair
Sage,
enough. Hmm.
yeah,
I think maybe sometimes that not having a Sage can work out if you're running a double. Maybe not on Haven, but in general, if you have double controllers and a single Sentinel like a Killjoy, you pick up something like Viper Brimstone or Viper
yep.
Astra, pair it up with a Killjoy. That Sage might look a little bit unnecessary. So maybe you can pick it up. But I know a couple of times that people have liked to pick Reyna on this map. Sometimes even the Phoenix. That is
Yeah,
also a possibility. In fact, just yesterday we saw Velocity try to pick up that Phoenix on for Amaterasu. So didn't really work out as much. But feel like that agent also definitely has some potential. The only issue for Phoenix is that Phoenix can be somewhat lackluster in terms of utility. Like his utility is great, but it's not amazing. It's all about the player, right? If you're a good player, if you're a good aimer, all the utility that you have on Phoenix, it makes you feel so comfortable, right? You can slice up a site, you can throw down a Molotov, you can force someone out of a corner, you can flash in for yourself. But all of a sudden, when that utility, even that utility is expended, and you don't have map control to show for it, it doesn't feel as good anymore. The cool thing about Phoenix is though that if you end up winning that pistol and you get some frags in the second round, if you get your ult up by third one, you could potentially get a free buy round for yourself, based, for courtesy of that run it back.
Yeah, pretty much. And I feel like the biggest strong point about Phoenix is that this agent wasn't nerfed. This agent was completely untouched. So,
Mm.
I mean, if you play a raise, that's a very economical decision, honestly, because your boom mod costs you 400 creds. You can't just plain and simple roll it everywhere and every round. So, having a Phoenix, it does give you the option to kind of flash, get a peek, and then fall back with some information, right? And yeah, just like I said, just like you said, the biggest plus point for this agent is probably the 6 point ultimate, which is probably one of the few 6 point ultimates in the game right now. And the
Yep.
run it back is a very effective one. I mean, talk about it being used attackingly. You can get so much information. You can possibly pick off a player or two. You can also use this on defense and probably explore some avenues and get some information as well and stay safe. So I mean, everything being said, Phoenix is a very, very good agent if used appropriately. But then, compare it against a Chet or a Reina, it still kind of feels lackluster, just like you
Yep.
mentioned. So it's all about choice. I mean, you hold a beam balance right in front of you. You put one agent on one side, the other agent on the other side, and which one do you choose? It's just a game of trade-offs. You need this. You don't need this agents or services. You kind of scrap it away.
Yeah. Well, you've mentioned Reina, you've mentioned Phoenix, and we're kind of running out of things to talk about. So we're going to cut to a short break. We're going to be right back with the game. Seem to be some technical issues for the time being, but as soon as we get those fixed, we'll be back. Until then, you're watching LG Ultragear presents the Esports Club Gauntlet Season 2, powered by WD Black and AMD Ryzen Radeon. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to LG Ultragear presents the Esports Club Gauntlet Season 2 powered by WD Black and AMD Ryzen Radiant. We are here with the agent selection screen between Team Cohesion going up against Team Force One on the map of Haven. Let's see who ends up taking away this one. We said something about a double initiator setup early on. You said something about a Cypher being picked up, and that Cypher does go in the hands of RVK. It looks like they're not going to be picking up the Sage, instead opting for that Cypher. Okay, so they have a Jet, that's a duelist. They have a controller in the form of Scargod playing that Astra. You got yourself a Sentinel, you've got yourself an Initiator. What do you get the second one of? Do you get a second duelist? Do you get a second Initiator? Or do you get yourself a second controller? That's the question.
Right. At this point, I guess Rafa is definitely hovering around that sky and has picked up the sky as well. So interestingly, a double initiator lineup being picked over here. So no Sage, that's for sure. RVK on the Cypher is a usual thing. Nitrite on the Jet and Scargod on the Astra. But right now, if you look at the other side, we have SKY on the Phoenix. We have Fired Up on Jet. We have Nixera on the KJ. So pretty much a stable lineup. Omkar on the Omen doesn't really surprise me. The guy has played a very stable Omen for quite some time. I guess he's one guy who you can kind of depend, right? Even if your
Yep.
duelists don't frag up, he's one guy who's always going to watch your back. So he being the Omen for the team is a good sign for them. A pretty much a stable lineup for Team Cohesion, but a double initiative pick can definitely bring up some interesting things for Team Force One.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I feel like a double initiator setup is something that is being explored and toyed with right now. I think yesterday we just saw in the highlights that Global Esports actually
Yeah.
ran the Breach plus the SOA. So yeah, that does seem to be the flavor of the month. Let's see how it ends up panning out for Force One though, because they're gonna do it with this guy. Let's jump into the game and see what they're up to as we move into Haven, the first map between Cohesion and Team Force One, and it's gonna start off with. It seems like what looks like is going to be an A take. I see three people from Cohesion, three people from Force One perched up outside that A main area looking to push in. Not sure about this. This is something that Force One like to do a couple of times, but I don't know if this is going to work out necessarily for them. Well, let's see what's going to happen. For the time being, if 2 seconds remaining on the clock, and yeah, they're just gonna put a Jet and the SOA on the side of Cohesion. They believe it's gonna be more than enough to hold them back. Oh no, oh my god, that recon dart lands directly on the head of that player and ends up revealing everyone towards that area. But B is left completely open. Nightfighter is gonna make his way in there. He's gonna get shot down by Omkar from one side. On the other side is SK Wow, and he's gonna take out Rafa out of nowhere. Two players fight with us for the side of Team Force One. Where do they make their move? Scargod looking to make his move towards that C side. Makes some noise and backs off. Is setting up for RBK to push in and maybe find a frag. But yeah, he's not really gonna call that just yet. They're playing it a little bit slow, and Kone is gonna find Shivy as well. It's all down to RBK and Scargod. The OG duo, let's see what they can do here. Well, RBK is good for the first one, but is gonna get traded out by Kone. That's the end of that. It's all down to Scargod. He's gonna get rushed, and Kone, in fact, just goes in the air with the frenzy, takes him down. First round going the way over to the side of Team Cohesion. Great stuff by them.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a beautiful defense on the A side. You just watch that fired up with a few shots and with that nice recon dart, they completely block out four-man push. Now, I almost thought the first one is going to make their way in. You have got two initiatives, you've got those annoying birds, you've got those recon darts coming in as well. Possibly the Astra Scargod was also deploying stars. So that rush kind of being shut down, that was good stuff. But this time around, they're doing something different, right? They are split up. They are on the eco run, so it should be kind of easy for Cohesion, but
I have dropped the spike.
Yeah.
Only three guys picking up a Spectre and a full shield. Rather, two guys picking up a full shield and one guy on a light shield. So this can be interesting. Team Force One can certainly make things happen. RVK with a one tap. It feels like he's in good touch, but nothing as of yet. Omkar in a very advanced position that the smoke is going to delay the first, but the flash comes in. All of these players just pause in, and RVK gets that one tap. SK Wow still trying to make something happen. The spray comes in, but Scargod from the 9-9 tag gets taken out. SK Wow missing a lot of shots, but finally finds it. Rafa. 3v3.
I mean, they're gonna get the spike down on C. They get all that B control, and it's just to make sure that they can set up on that C area for the time being. And here, SK Wow might just get the timing right on Scargod, but has to be worried about the other area as well. And Scargod does not connect with that Spectre, gets taken out. Shivy holding the Scubby, tried go unchecked. Yep, Cone turns around, but it's too little too late. And all of a sudden, this round has turned on its head. Knight Rider with 30 HP has a Spectre in his hands, but it's going to be a little bit difficult for him to get in a position to try and take him out. Oh no! Look at Shivi, he's just burning. He can't really move out here. They're going to get that half diffuse down, and Knight Rider's all down to him. He's not going to connect. SQL gets his fourth one. Fired up. Should be able to get himself an operator on the back of that round. Great stuff once again, and it's all courtesy of that initial recon done in that first round. I mean, Salty, it landed straight on, I believe it was the head of the Astra or the
Yeah, I believe it was
Sky.
Kargod.
Yeah.
I believe it was Kargod on whom the recon that landed, but good
Yeah.
stuff from Team Cohesion. I mean, SK Wow is that guy, right? You need him to fire up, and if he's in top form, this guy can certainly break down the backbone of Force One, and that he certainly did in the last round. But this time around, we've got the op fired up, picked it up. Some early shots expected, but then they've already made their way in. Knight Rider is already in the sewer, so this can be interesting. It's prepared to kind of slow down this round. That's a question. Shock darts coming in, fired up, still in position, can use the op, but Knight Rider falling back. I believe the defense is strong enough to kind of cut the stack then. What do you think about this, Flo?
Yeah, I think this one's going to be a hard one to take. They've seen the operator already. They're just trying to tuck tail and run, and I think this might prompt Fire up to get the hell back. Oh, he misses the shot on Skargod. Skargod playing with fire and not getting burnt there. You have to remember, the Killjoy is still set up for C, so the C take is not going to be easy by any stretch of the imagination. Schneigsetter, he's holding for the time being. Shivi spamming corners, trying to check every single area. The recon dart available now is probably going to pop it, but elsewhere, Skargod is found by SK Wow. And look at this, if they actually breach C in time, they don't have backup. The SOA and the Jet are still towards that A side. The recon's going to come through. Nightsetter's going to take it out, and that reveals that he's in there. Flashes come in, but he's not fully blind. In fact, they're going to make their move on. Beware, Omkar's waiting. Takes down Knight Rider. A Vandal shot straight to the head. Nightsetter now looking to push out. He's going to find Shivi. That Phantom does not work out for him. Omkar's going to find a second one as well. And all of a sudden, Force One, this buy round not working out for them. Rafa trying to pull it back somehow, but it's not going to be easy. That Spike dropped in an awkward position, and it's all down to RVK once again, the clutch master himself.
Ever dependable Cone and Omkar. I mean, you saw how beautifully they shut down that aggression right now. He had responsibility of the garage and the scope, right? He alone held down the position like a fort and did not allow a single information to get processed, did not allow any player to kind of infiltrate that position, right? Omkar beautifully sets up the smoke, sets up the flash, gets a frag. I mean, this is brilliant stuff. Team Cohesion, they're looking good. Force One, this is their attacking round, so don't just go by the books. I feel like they can certainly make things different when they come back on defense, because Force One's defense is also strong. I feel like their objective at this point should only be to get as many rounds as they can on the attack and not let the game too far away from their grasp.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's going to be sort of hard for them to try and go up against the operator once again. Fired up is going to play the corner instead, looking for a second pickup. No. Doesn't really find it. Has the dash away though, so nothing to worry about there. And now Rafa might just throw out a flash, but Fired Up manages to find him. Corn elsewhere gets a pick off thanks to the shock dart. And there you go. Fired Up is aware that they have crossed in towards the sewers area. Spam comes in from Shivi as he sees him through that little box. 2 bullets connecting to his chest, but still has 66 HP to his name. That's one more shot that he can tank before he has to dash away. And there you go. Looks like he will finally be revealed. Cone comes in, provides backup to Fire Up. Make sure that that operator does not get taken down.
One enemy
and
remaining.
Now it's all down to
Spike
RVK
down
once
A.
again. How many times is this man going to find himself in this situation? Okay, he's good for one with the Sheriff. Takes down SK Wow. Takes down Omkar as well. This man in his one tap's looking very, very strong. His game sense tells him that someone's coming in from the backstab, and he's right about that. But now 3 people are going to peek him at once. He's going to meet his makers. RVK really good on that Sheriff. Unfortunately, it doesn't really pan out all that well in terms of rounds for them. So, Force One, they do some economic damage, but that's about it. And they're gonna pick up rifles for themselves and make it work. Maybe the second time around's the charm.
Yeah, I mean, nothing too bad for Team Force One, right? They were on the eco round in that one, and RVK still managed to pick up 2 players. So that's enough of an economic dent that you want to put out against Team Cohesion. I feel like that's the only way Team Force One can certainly make a comeback. But yeah, right now the attacks are not really panning out the way they are planning it to be. Like, especially that op on the A side, they have been discouraged for way too long. Fired Up this time, repositioning in garage. SK Wow getting an aggressive position in mid. His position has been given up though, and he has to fall back. But elsewhere, Nightbite actually finds so much space on the A territory, and this can actually open things up. And A push is on the books right now. The ultimate peak is coming as well. SK Wow or rather
Wow.
Night Rider, he actually finds SK Wow.
Yeah, great stuff by them. This time around, it was a very quick play towards the A side. That's a very sick shock dart by Shivy. I didn't even know it worked that way. Clearing out the Heavens area. Now, Omkar might have just given away his position thanks to that reload. The Owl's gonna do some scouting out for them. Is gonna spot out one play at least. Nixer does not connect. Those Scargod survives. The Owl is gonna be used by the sword to clear out the rest of the site. Can he actually find a pick off on the back of that? Yes, he does. He takes out Scargod. Omkar jumps down with the Vandal and takes it out. Fall down to Shivy. He's gonna get two. Now two more remaining. Can he actually find those? Those shock darts don't connect. He's waiting for the peak to come and he takes out Fighter, but I think he's got enough time. He's gonna get himself a 4K. Shivy, the clutch master. My goodness.
Oh no, that shouldn't have been possible. That first pick, the way he got Omkar, I don't even know how that works. I mean,
Yeah, Shivy is just absolutely insane. That was a sick 4K.
certainly it was. But that gives them the first round to work with. And 4-1, yeah, certainly a very respectable scoreline. But yeah, fired up, they still have the operator in hand, so they can certainly work around that. 4 rifles to work with. But if Team Force 1 can manage to win this round as well, I guess the economy on the side of Team Force, on the side of Team Cohesion is going to struggle a little bit. Night Rider getting taken down, the ultimate really working. Stargod getting the pick, but that's about it. Rafa shutting down Night Zera. Good stuff. Team Cohesion, they're starting to make comebacks with 2 important frags, or rather, it's third. They're still trying to make something happen to Garage, but Omkar is going to shut them down. And then another aggression being shut down, and Shivy once again in a clutch position. He does have the ultimate available as well. Shock dart comes in. Cone, he finds Shivy, pulls off a Sova diff right there.
Absolutely. And once again, this was a sort of an important round for Force 1 to build. I mean, their economy was not looking all that good, and because they've ended up losing this round again, they're going to be relegated to Sheriffs. And yeah, it looks like the defender side of the economy is really doing wonders here for Cohesion. I mean, I wasn't expecting them to take up so many rounds on Haven right off the bat, but their defense looking solid as ever. And their economy is actually so good. If you actually quickly press tab, you can see that they have enough money in the bank. Probably left over for another buy if they manage to win this round. So, yeah, not things that you're used to seeing on defense. Defense economy is not the best in the world. And there you go. Jet dashing in. Night Rider does not find that kill. Night Rider shuts them down along with SK Wow. And man, they're just shutting down this site for single-handedly. Night Rider taking his sweet time. Just using his crosshair to aim in and get those kills. Quick eco for
How good is Night Zera? Just how good is Night Zera and SK Wow? I mean, sure, this was an eco round. Sure, their attack was kind of monotonous. Just tried to kind of make some things happen with the daggers, but that wasn't really it. But I mean, these guys have been ever dependable. They haven't missed shots yet. And Team Force 1, they're still trying to find answers to the questions that Team Cohesion is posing. I mean, their attack has been either rush A or rush C side, right? They've got one good round, and that was on the back of a good Shivy clutch. But other than that, they haven't really ventured too much with mid territory, and that is because of Night Zera and Omkar's presence. This time around, Omkar is on the A side. 4 of them are on the A side, so the defense is pretty thin on the C side as well. Night Zera, he's given out his information as well, but this time around, he does have the lockdown available, so can make something happen. Night Rider and Scargod trying to pressure, trying to get as much information as they can, trying to get as much real estate, but then Night Rider stalls and puts down Night Zera to his grave. That is one important player down, and that is kind of opens up a lot of real estate to work with. This definitely can work for Team Force 1 at this point, Loki.
Absolutely. You have to still remember that the Jet is still playing towards the aim area. Now he peeks out, gets his head destroyed. Omkar TP'd in, used the From the Shadows and went and checked, but Night Rider is going to get the train and return somehow. Through the smoke, he's able to find him. Cosmic Divide comes through. It's all down to SK on his Vandal. How much work can it do? Has to run it back once again, and the hot hands to delay. Shivy gets a nice stink, but he needs to find that big SK out pushing forward with the hot hands. Finds one, and Shivy's going to find gold with the shock dart now, returning that Sova dip back to him. And Scargod's also going to get taken out by SK Wow. SK Wow, successful defense of the C side. And Force 1 commit so many ultimates, but they don't find anything. I mean, this is not good for Force 1. They're down 6 rounds compared to the side of Cohesion. I mean, at this point, it seems like my prediction's gonna go wrong. I'm gonna be the one who ends up looking mighty silly because Cohesion are looking very strong with their offense here. I mean, sorry, with the defense here.
I mean, that's kind of expected. I feel like Cohesion I would love to see how they perform on the attack, right? I mean, Force One, they have a very strong defense. So them losing ground at this point doesn't really surprise me quite a bit. I feel like they can work this out, especially on the defensive side, especially with RBK and Skargor and Chevy working together. Right now, you can see Nightsera and Omkar doing all the heavy lifting, right? Fired up hasn't even been required. I mean, sure, he does have 5 frags to work with, but his services aren't really required that much right now because most of the avenues on the mid and the garage area has been completely blocked out by Nightsera and Omkar. Cone as well. And SK Wow has been fragging, like he gets those informations and he has been getting those kills. He's been crucial with those frags. But Force One, they're really trying to break this defense apart. But I don't really see a hole. I don't see a chunk in the armor right now for the team.
Yeah, I agree with you. I feel like Cohesion are looking really, really strong. Not something I was expecting from them. They weren't looking as hot, but yeah, now they seem to be just working out the flaws and they seem to be working on their weaknesses just fine. I mean, Omen is not a controller you're used to seeing, but Omkar is making it work, and he's making it work in style as well. That Astra not really doing all that much over for the side of Force One, and Force One seem to be struggling to get into sites. I mean, they've tried this double initiator setup multiple times now. This is the second time I've seen them pull it off, and it's not working out for them. I think I saw it once on Bind. But yeah, they need to find those opening frags. I feel like the Jet just going in without those Sky flashes leaves a little bit more vulnerable. Fired up. Oh my god! Knight Rider blows his head open with that Marshall. Ah, that has to hurt. Fired up is not feeling too good about that. Nightsera though, playing crossfire with his own sentry gun, is going to be able to find a kill on Skargod. Even things up a bit, but that operator has been recovered, so no harm, no foul. Oh, Nightsera's gonna find another one, but SK Wow coming in with a huge backstab, manages to find Chevy, and he's also gonna find Knight Rider, and this is the end of the round. Not like it really mattered all that much. It was a bit of an eco coming in from the side of Force One, but I'd still like to get the spike down, and look at RVK. Blind as a bat, will still manage to get one pick before he dies, and Cone finishes him off with a shock dart.
This man doesn't need a gun. But you know what? It all kind of came down when Knight Rider got that frag on Fired Up. They knew they got a frag on the A side, and they decided to kind of venture the mid area. But then SK Wow, he played a big brain move over there. He knew that they're gonna fall back, and he pushed in through that A corridor and worked around such a big backstab. And honestly, Team Cohesion didn't really expect, because they got a frag over there. They wouldn't really expect a guy to kind of backstab or push in from that area. But SK Wow did, and he got those 2 massive kills. And RVK does get a frag over there, but that's about it. Good stuff from Team Cohesion. Fired up. Again, repositioning himself in the A long corridor. But Knight Rider and Chevy, they're actually adamant to make something happen in the garage area. There's a lot of presence on the mid region, so I'm excited to see how this works out. Knight Rider gets a frag, SK Wow gets another, so a 1-for-1 trade. But 4-4 should really work in the hands of Team Force One. Will they be able to make this happen? The Seekers are out, Cone spots them, doesn't really see anything happening on the B side. So this should give them the information that is required, that Skargod will be the first form of resistance.
Yeah, and he hears those footsteps coming in. He's gonna read that information over to his team. Oh, SK Wow gets spotted, and he's gonna get that second pick instead. Take on Fired Up. Omkar comes in. Gets taken out. SK Wow's gonna go out as well, and Skargod. My goodness, gets himself 4 kills in Force One. This is the kind of win that they needed to get their morale back up. Lots of money saved as well. All their players surviving.
Yeah, certainly, but he was the first one of defense, he was the last one. Team Force One, they played this beautifully. They get a frag in the A side, they get a frag in the B side as well. They beautifully worked their way to channelize that C plant, right? They expected Team Cohesion to kind of put in men in the A and the C side, and they put in Skargod in the garage area. They knew all the players are gonna line up one by one, and he just isolates them and slays them down. Wonderful stuff there. But nothing really changes for Team Cohesion. They know that they have a very hefty lead to work with, so they have a similar setup to work with. But if you actually have a look at Team Force One, they're still trying to do the same and pull off a similar tactic, right? All heavy presence in mid, and also trying to look for a frag in the A side.
Yeah, the recon from 3 didn't really land, and this time around they're gonna change things up, make SK Wow play that garage area. It's gonna hold on for the time being. Throws out the flash as the hot hands expire to maybe try and find a pick, but look at the moves at the side of Force One are making. They're gonna try to push in towards B. This one's gonna be a bit of a hard one, but they have two smokes to make it work. The flash goes in. Oh no, Night Rider dashes straight into Omkar, but Omkar does not connect with the spray. Paranoias himself, and he gets 2 kills, manages to take out Skargod as well. He single-handedly shuts down this push on B, and now Force 1. Well, it's all down to Rafa. There's not much he can do in this situation. Maybe he can hope to find a frag with that flash, but that's about it. He's surrounded on all sides, and he's gonna eat a shock dart to the face as well. Cone finds him. He's gonna get one pick. Takes out SK well, but gets quickly traded out by Cone. Man, I mean, Team Cohesion just turning a new leaf here, looking very, very different from the Inazuma we saw in Season 1.
I don't know if the org is paying them well, but yeah, for sure, this team is looking strong right now. But the defense is definitely strong, but courtesy to individual performances, it's sometimes SK WoW standing up, it's sometimes Omkar standing up, it's sometimes Snipes holding like a fort. They've been individually so brilliant, and the others coordinating really well. The Force 1, they're still looking for the third round. 9-3 is not a bad scoreline considering they have a defense.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's gonna be a hard one to pull back here for the side of Force 1. They really need to win this round to make it work. And this time around, look at the setup coming in from the side of Cohesion. I was almost gonna say Inazuma. They've put 4 people up on C. A complete gamble, and a gamble that's gonna pay off, mind you, because they time and time again are playing towards that towards that A side, and wow, so many people tagged up by that Soa ult from Chevy. Rafa's gonna find Omkar as well, and now Cone trying to play this close angle is gonna get taken out by Rafa as he finds one, but SK comes back in with a run back, gets the kill, gets traded out by RVK. And now RVK knows exactly where everyone is thanks to that new theft. But SK wow pushing in. Oh my goodness, fired up. Updrafts and dashes forward. Gets that first kill, but RVK manages to clutch it out. Sole survivor for his team, but still manages to make it work as Force 1 put the third round on board for themselves. But this is not looking pretty at all, Salty. They're down 6 rounds. Essentially, even if the side of Cohesion end up losing 2 buy rounds, they're still going to be in the clear. They're still going to be at the advantage. Just because they won so many rounds on defense. And I mean, you know, Force 1, sure, they're able to win that last round, but they have to fight a very uphill battle. The good thing for them is that if they manage to win those couple of buy rounds in a row, their economy is going to be looking really, really solid, and they won't feel as comfortable about, you know, being at a big round difference. If they can, say, get to 9-6 or 9-7 without losing a round in a row, their economy is going to be in a pretty good spot.
They need to win those rounds first, and honestly speaking, them on the attack, they won rounds. Those 3 rounds were courtesy because of individual performances, brilliances. But Scar got a Night Rider, aggressive position. Night Rider gets one, falls back. Will he be able to go survive this? Not really. Rafa gets one, but a 2-for-2 trade. 3v3 doesn't really look very pretty. The bird caught out, but Rafa repositions himself. Omkar,
enemy mark,
as well as Cone, they're very adamant to make this happen. The jump peaks, nothing really happening. 3 players still trying to make this. Aggressive push, Rafa sneaking in, gets one frag, will you get the last one? Yes, not really, but finally, Shivy finds a final name, Coffin, Force 1, get their first round.
Absolutely. Great stuff by Force 1. Very important round for them to win. If they lost this one, this game could have snowballed out of control and they could have essentially lost out 13-3. Not in the fashion that they would like to go out in. I mean, you know, previously we have seen them not have a very good time on Ascent, but yeah, this is the other. This is what it feels like to be on the opposite side when you know, when they were up like 12-2 against Enigma. Hopefully they're able to you know, equalize the score and give us a more interesting round. But for the time being, it seems that they're gonna make their move towards Raj, the side of Cohesion. Let's see what works out for them.
Here's a Phantom.
Okay.
Early investment.
I mean, one Phantom is something that you do see sometimes picked up by the duelist, but let's see if it really works out for them. Oh my god, RVK through that cage gets one kill. Skargod pulls out his pistol, he runs out of bullets on the Spectre, and is so good with it. Takes out SK wow. Fired up, still holding the flank in the meantime. Is gonna be waiting to... Oh no, I see his ping. It's shot up to 800. I think he might have disconnected there. Unfortunate, but I think he's back now. Yep, there you go. Can you find the pick? Rafa, he cannot connect for the life of him. Gets taken out and yeah, fired up. He got lucky once, but he's not gonna get lucky twice. So Chevy takes him out. Oh boy.
Rafa was trying a 360 there. Didn't really work out that way, but yeah. I'm actually happy that we don't have these ping issues, right?
Yeah.
I kind of got concerned that Fired Up might not be able to kind of
That goes there.
resort his issue, but thankfully he's there. And 9-5 scoreline looks decent. Team Force One, yeah, they have a decent economy to work with, but so does Team Cohesion right now. They've lost 2 rounds in a row, but they saved up enough for this buy round. They need to make something happen if they want to continue the lead, because if this goes to 9-6, I would say this is a pretty even scoreline, Floki. I
Oh,
would
yeah.
say this is a very even playing field, but Fired Up needs to get a pick at this point.
Absolutely.
Early
This is,
aggression from Rafa, which can be deadly because Fired Up is still holding this angle. They are expecting an A push from the defensive team. Meanwhile, SK Wow, as well as KJ and Nike Zeta, they're trying to make something happen in mid, but Night Rider gets a frag cone. He gets a trade as well. So he's going to fall back and move and get some more information in the mid area. But Shivi is there with the no to kind of push them back.
Oh yeah, look at this. Cole, he's gonna be able to find himself up a second kill as well. Omka cleans up on Raph, and all of a sudden the A side gets opened up as the rest of Force One, or what's remaining of them, hurry and scramble back to that side to try and hold on. Shivi lands a dink but gets taken out by Omka, who gets a much better dink with the Vandal, a much stronger one rather. Now called down to REK, and at that distance the Spectre, it doesn't do all that much work. An important round that Force One should have probably won, but they ended up losing this one out. That
It was a
means
bonus
that
round for them.
was it? I mean, I remember seeing at least one rifle on them, right? Okay, never mind. Yeah, that did look like a bonus round for them.
Yeah, I mean, the Phantom which the Jet saved up, yeah, it was from the second round in this half. So yeah, it was a bonus round for them. So they have buy in this round, but 10-5 still doesn't look very pretty, honestly, because 9-6 was a respectable scoreline. 10-5, it's a bit too close to match point. Not really a comfortable position for them. One slip up and they can be losing this map out. And Team Cohesion, they're looking rock solid. Their aggression in the last round was pretty good. Their fakes in the B side, the way they were holding down the A side was also good as well. Rafa still holding down this garage area. Does have an SMG to work with. This is not really looking pretty for Team One at this point. Nice setup. One gun already dropped. Scarbot not really being able to survive over there.
Oh, no.
BK, one rare miss. And this team really falters. They are on the knees right now. 3v5 gets spiked down and falls back to safety. Rafa still struggling, but finally gets a frag. Gets traded as well. Night Rider left with an off. This is a very hefty investment.
Yeah, and he needs to save this one because, yeah, if he doesn't manage to save the orb, I don't think Force One are going to stand a chance on this map. Somehow, Cohesion looking very, very good as they come out swinging on Haven. And, yeah, they've decimated the Force One economy completely. It's gonna take quite a lot of work for Force One to bring this one back. And that is if Night Rider can save the operator, which may not even be likely. He finds one, cone spots him out, tries to dash away. The Cloud Burst protects him from that second scan. He keeps him alive. He's gonna get another peek going for himself, successfully holding on to the operator. Oh no! Oh, that was planted on B. Oh, Night Rider ended up losing the operator. That's such a big loss for the side of Force One.
Oh no. That was a tragedy.
Tragedy and a half there, my friend. That was painful to look at. He held on to that operator from 3 different peekers. Yet he died to the spike.
It was his fate.
Yeah.
It was his
Unfortunate.
fate.
I think he forgot for a second that the spike was planted on B. Ah, boy. Oh wow, I didn't even know you could place the camera there. So he needs what?
He needs an astrology, I guess. His destiny doesn't look pretty fired up. Trying to make something happen, but SKY is already on the way in. The Seekers come out, the flashes as well. It's an absolute chaos in the season. Look at those bodies fall. Scar finally gets a body, finally gets an ultimate. But we already have 1-for-1 trade and they're falling back already. Good defense from Team Force One, but the attacking team still has something to work with. Nightera has made his way in a very advanced position. Team Force One, they have to be very careful of the garage territory.
Oh yeah, I mean, this is not going to be easier for the side of Force One to continue to hold on. Thankfully, they do have an HP advantage of sorts, but their weaponry is not looking all that good. They can't really push it from garage because there's a tripwire there that Nightera is going to spot out now. And they're going to have to coordinate and push out together. They're trying to make sure that they can get the pick from the garage window if anyone does end up peeking from there, but no one does, and you can see Ariki already holding on. He knows that a strip fire is going to be taken out any moment now, so he's trying to set up for that pick. with his Sheriff. Recon comes in, gets taken out by him. That should give them an idea of where he is, and RVK gets spotted. There's no way on earth he can get that pick now. SKY looking to push forward, knows he has a better weaponry, flashes to the right side, takes out... well, RVK gets taken out by Omka, but Skargot still here, has the Vandal, the crossfire from the side, of course, it's beautiful, but the spray transfer from Goal is even better. Knight Rider comes in from the back, takes away the spike, and I think that's time. I don't think there's enough time remaining left to plant Nikes. Ah, man. That spike also brought an awkward spot. Knight Rider looking to get that final pick. Can he find it? Nope, he cannot, but he's okay. He's fine with that. He is A-okay with that happening.
Damn, that was close. That was actually close. I didn't imagine Team Force One would hold on to that position, especially when RV came. He was in such a low HP. His position was given out as well, and he got instantly taken off, right? I didn't imagine Skargod would be able to hold on to that position, but luckily they had one guy stationed in the C-long corridor who kind of shut down the planter. And because of the fact that Team Cohesion, they run down the clock so much, once the planter got taken out, they had no time to
Yeah.
get that.
Get out of my way!
Look at the push coming in though once again from Team Cohesion. The seam pick doesn't work out. They try the luck towards A. Korn ends up taking out Knight Rider through the wall to start things off. That is disgusting. And once again, Force One caught between a rock and a hard place here. Rafa
Through the wall,
holding
through
on to
the
that
head.
cheeky position. Oh no, I think he might have been spotted. They know that he is here. The hot house doesn't clear it though. They might be under a false sense of security, but there you go. SK Wow goes and takes him down with the Vandal through the wall. Skargot gonna throw down some utility, look to help his teammates out, but the Killjoy lockdown has come through, and SK Wow slowly but surely is gonna creep into the site. Shivi goes on towards the outskirts where the orb used to be and hides in that corner, the only area that is really safe, and SK Wow probably is gonna spam that, but
Wait,
it has been a
what?
fake. This has been a fake. They sold that fake. They made everyone rotate to it, walked into an empty C site. As Narike, the only ever survivor, he actually gets him through the double box. And there you go, it's a spike being taken out, information relayed over. But I don't know if it's going to have that much impact because they still don't have the weaponry to make this work. They're on the flag. RK once again gets the pick in that same position. And Korn gets taken out. Nightzera will finally put an end to RK shenanigans and fire up. It's going to continue to hold on to the side. Shivi comes in and takes him out though. And Skargot, he's actually tapping the defuse. Eskimo comes in from the back. Is going to be able to get that kill. Stop the defuse. It's only a half defuse so far though. And Shivi is in a very awkward position. He's going to use that shock dart to try and clear that area out. But no, he actually uses sort of like a flash. And prevents SKY from peeking. Is going to tap it, but he's also going to get spammed from that same position. And man, I think that box is going to need some repairs after the number of holes Nightzera and RVK put in it.
Match point.
Holy hell, that was a chaotic run because so much in the A side. That was a perfect salesman take, honestly, because they dumped a whole lockdown over there. SK Wow makes his presence felt. I believe they got some picks in the A side as well, but they just ditch the A side completely and go to the C side. This is completely different, but Team Cohesion, they're making things happen, right? RVK again, through the boxes, through the woodworks, he gets those frags, not just once, but twice. But finally, that setup was so beautiful, the set piece was working well. This time around, fight up, he gets an early pick on Night Rider. He couldn't really survive that. A 4v5, this looks like Team Cohesion want to finish this off quickly. His presence is definitely there. A backstab who's been spotted. Nightzera is definitely positioned, take him down. Rafa is out of charge as well. A 3v5, but finally Skargot gets one, fired up, and then overload for him. But they line up, and he gets two. Skargot finally gets a second as well. A 1v2 required off him. A miraculous comeback. Will it be there? Not really. Nightzera puts the final lane in the coffin. Team Cohesion, they get the first map.
Great stuff here by Cohesion, actually winning it out by a 7-round difference. I was kind of anticipating this happening just in the opposite direction. I didn't think that side of Cohesion could actually take away Haven from Force One, but they do. And look at this. I mean, this is absolutely amazing stuff. Force One, a team that made it all the way to the lower bracket finals in the last season, now struggling against Team Cohesion, a team that didn't really do all that well in that first season, but they seem to come back strong here in the second one, and man, they are looking hot.
Yep.
I mean,
to be honest, look at the numbers.
Yeah.
Each and every one of Team Cohesion's players, they have the kills to show for. They have the KD ratio as well. So they are pretty efficient in terms of their gunplay. But it's not just about gunplay, Floke. I felt like Team Cohesion, they felt comfortable right from the get-go. Team Force One, they were struggling on defense, but I was still hopeful that they would have a stronger defense when the things switched. But it didn't really look like that. Team Cohesion, they had a much deeper playbook in terms of selling their flakes. I mean, in terms of selling their fakes, because the lockdown in the A
Yeah,
side, that C push, that setup was so perfect because generally you see a different plant, but they plant near the box, which is at the extremities of the backer side. RVK did read onto that, gets a few kills, but that's about it. The setup was so perfect that people could come in from long, people could come in from CT as well, and they could get the diffuser, and that was it. That was so beautifully worked out. And Team Cohesion, they look strong, but will they continue their run on Ascend? That's a question that I cannot answer.
absolutely. Let's open the highlights for now and see exactly what went right for Cohesion, because Cohesion really put up a number against Force One, and Force One, they were really struggling to get anything done. Oh, whoops, I think these are the wrong highlights. Uh, but okay, never mind. The first highlight is a little bit bugged, unfortunately. But yeah, apart from the match that we're seeing on our screens right now, let's talk about the one that just happened. I have to say, the way the side of Force One played that, it did seem like they really respected Cohesion right off the bat. It seemed like Cohesion was just gonna fall
Hmm.
for those rushes. They were just not gonna be able to hold on. But yeah, they really managed to hold on for quite some time, and it didn't really seem like Force One had any answers whatsoever
The
for
composure
what
the
Cohesion was
composure on
doing.
the side of Team Cohesion was brilliant. I felt like Team Force One, just like you mentioned, they underestimated Team Cohesion a little bit. They felt like their four-man pushes can really startle their two-man defenses on the A side when they were on the attacking side. But if you look at the highlights, you look how beautifully Nightera, Omkar, also the Sova and Jet duel holding down the A side, holding down Garage, holding down B, that none of these players could actually make anything happen. And their defense was so strong. The only 3 rounds they win in the attacking half
Huh?
was due to some crazy clutch plays coming through from RVK and Shibi, etc.
Absolutely, I feel like a lot of these rounds that Force One did win, like you mentioned, were on the back of those clutches, and yeah, every single
What
time
is
I've
this?
seen, yeah, this was absolutely nuts. I mean, Homeka just jumped in, but Chibi just held this one down like a champion. I mean, look at this. He manages to get himself a 4K somehow. Just at 14 HP, clutches out the round and wins it for his team. A very important win for Force One, but it just seemed that they didn't really respect the defensive cohesion. I mean, you can see they literally just 5-man rushed C main. No garage control whatsoever. They left a lurk there, but
Hmm.
RVK was a bit too late to the party. And yeah, this is sort of just what happens when you don't respect the opponent team. I mean, they were just thinking that they could walk into a site and take it for free without really establishing any real map control. And I think now that Fosun have learned their lesson, we can have a much more interesting second map on Ascent. Quick look at the team, the game-ending scoreboard here, and yeah, SK Wow on that Phoenix being the most valuable player for the side of Team Cohesion. Great stuff by him. 21 kills, 281 combat score. That's a lot of damage that he dealt. I'm pretty sure we saw at least 6 rounded backs this game. I mean, I remember seeing it 4 or 5 times myself. We probably might have even seen it for a sixth time. And yeah, I have to say, I mean, they've really made this Phoenix work. Usually, it's not an agent that tends to do all that much, but this time around, SK Wow looked absolutely wonderful on it. And also, Omkar Zoman, man, that guy on defense was absolutely stellar. Every single time they came in where he was, he just threw out the paranoia, just peeked in, got those kills, and he somehow makes the Omen look good despite the nerfs.
True that, true that. I feel like Omkar has been that only Omen who's been very dependable. We
Hmm.
talked a lot about team cohesion. For Team Force One, I felt like the team was kind of revolving around Shivi and RVK way too much. The duelists kind of held back, right? Knight Rider wasn't doing all that much, especially when he was trying to kind of aggress into a side. They had a two initiative combo. He does have a lot of information to work with, but couldn't really make anything happen on the back of it. So I felt like a lot of things kind of boiled down to them not coordinating much. And this has been kind of a problem with Force One quite a lot. Their synergy, their coordination has been there's been a question mark on that for quite some time, and I feel like they still haven't worked out much. But if you look at team cohesion, I felt like SK Wow was just the star of the show. But in fact, uh, it was purely a team show, honestly. SK Wow,
Yeah,
Omkar, Nike, Sarah, everybody had their contributions, and that is one of the reasons why cohesion win this comfortably.
absolutely. And Are they going to be able to continue this performance going on to a set, or are we going to be going to a split decider? That's an answer that I don't really have for you. But if you stay tuned in for a little while longer, you might find out. We're going to cut to a short break. Until then, you're watching LG Ultragear presents the Esports Club Gauntlet Season 2, powered by WD Black and AMD Ryzen Radeon. My name is Loki. With me is Salty. We'll be back with just a bit with map number 2. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to LG Ultragear presents the Esports Club Gauntlet Season 2, powered by WD Black and AMD Ryzen 3D. And my name is Floki. Joining me for this one is going to be Salty. A very interesting map one played out between the two teams, Cohesion as well as Force One. And Cohesion actually taking this 13-7, not something I was expecting. So 13-6, not even 13-7, Force One. I gave them a little bit too much credit there. And it seems that Cohesion are really done a lot of practice in the downtime in the last, I'd say, 1 week or so. Next map, gonna be Ascent. It's a pick by Force One. It's a map that they have a little bit of history with. It's a map that we actually predicted that Cohesion would take over. But now, if our predictions hold true, then Cohesion might just end up 2-0ing Force One. Not something that a lot of people are going to be expecting, but this is what I like to see. Force One, they put Rafa back on the race, Knight Rider on that jet, and now things start looking a lot more sensible for me. SK are going to be playing that Reina, that's nice, but I don't know. I feel like Rafa on his race is just going to be such a nuisance on this map. It's so many times I've seen like Rafa, they try and make him work on that sky. It's never worked out. I mean, they
Yeah.
tried it in the playoffs once on Bind, it didn't work out. They tried it again today on him and it didn't work out. I think Rafa is most suited for these sorts of duelists, your Phoenixes, your Razors, maybe even a Reyna here and there. Could even throw him on the KO. I mean, if you really want to experiment with the double initiator setup, you can maybe pick up the KO and try to make that work. I wonder if Rafa would be willing to do that. But yeah, so far it's gonna be an Omen as the controller of choice for the side of Cohesion, and Knights are probably playing that Killjoy. What's your opinion? No Sage on this map, Salty.
Not yet. Nobody really preferring that mid wall. So I mean, KJ on either side. No Raze on this side. So it's only a difference in the duelist, right? It's Reina on this side and Rafa being the Raze on the side of Team Force One. Interesting stuff. Honestly, a lot of good players on either side. We've seen them perform well, but then when it comes to agent selection, there's a lot of variables. There's a lot of factors that come into play. Whether that player is comfortable or not, whether a particular setup is working for the team or not. We just saw that a double initiate setup wasn't really working for Team Force One. They couldn't really gather a lot of information. A double initiative setup on paper should give you a lot of information,
Yep.
right? They didn't have a lot of information. They couldn't really make anything work on the back of that information. So when that attack isn't working in spite of all those information, you just scrap that, get back to your defaults, two duelists, one controller, one sentinel, and one initiative to work with. And both the teams, they've got that set up, right? We've no
Yep.
sage walls. It means it basically comes down to the sentinels, the killjoys, to kind of hold down sites all by themselves. Now that lives the mid area quite a lot empty, and we've talked about how important mid control is in this map. So it all
Yeah.
comes down to whether the Sova can get some information deep down in mid or no.
Absolutely. You should be jumping into the game any moment now. It seems to be a little bit of an issue with the players and the cameras. As soon as we get that fixed, we're going to be going into the game. But yeah, SQ playing that Reyna, he's looked pretty strong on that previously. I've seen him do really well on that agent, but is he going to be able to go berserk again? Now, that's the big question. Rafa playing that Raze, of course, we love to see him on that agent if you feel like Raze is an agent made for Rafa. Rafa was really good on that. But apart from that, anything else that catches your fancy, in particular, Salty? Like, do you think there's another agent and player combo that we should be looking out for in this match?
I feel like SK Wow is in top form right now, and when this guy is in top form, you always have to look out for him because I'm sure Haven was a map where everybody's contribution was important, but this
Hmm.
time around, it is Sent, right? This map works differently. This map doesn't require all that tactic. For sure, there are going to be fakes. For sure, there are going to be, rotations and all, and different sorts of combinations and different set pieces being tried. But when it comes to fragging, Ascent is a very Ascent is a map that relies deeply on getting those first picks. If you get that pick, if you create that opening, things can really work out for you. And that is why SK Wow really makes that difference. Why? Because he's picked up the radar. He can get that frag, he can use the flash, get that frag, and fall back to safety without even taking a bullet. That gives a lot of room, a lot of freedom to Team Cohesion. But this time around, they've got that, they've smoked out that noise. They're trying to make something happen in A shot. They've already got a pick and they're trying to go aggressive. What is this, Floki? What do you think? What's going to happen?
I mean, this is just them collapsing on the A side. SK was trying to spot someone from the defender spawn here, but doesn't really find anyone just yet. You can have the Killjoy playing the lurk, but that lurk is not really going to do much because no one's going to come in from mid. Homecar's going to get that kill on Knight Rider through that wall and gets another one on Shivy. Prevents the spike from getting planted, and Korn finds Skargod. All of a sudden, their offense has been turned on its head, and now RVK coming into the party, but he might be a little too late. They are aware of what's going on, and that Astro smoke is also covered by another Omen smoke, so SK Wow is going to be holding on to that position, and now that bot has given away the Killjoy's positioning. It's all down to Rafa. He has also Korn to contend with it. He's not going to spot, and Korn just finds him. The triple shot takes him out, and okay, SK Wow eats his ghost shot to the head, ends up falling here. All down to REK. This man has worked wonders with pistols before, but can he do it again?
A wonderful crossfire setup. RBK still trying to go for it. But
30 seconds left.
One
One enemy remaining.
He gives them one frag. That's about it. Triple kill for Omkar. Didn't really expect that to happen.
Yeah, RBK, great shots by him, but at the end of the day, he doesn't really end up clutching it out for his team. And yeah, the first round picked up here for the side of Cohesion. It's going to be a Spectre picked up for Omkar himself. He's going to be super pleased with what he managed to pull off in that previous round. And yeah, first one, they started off very strong, getting that pick on fire up, but then when they came into the side, they just seemed to collapse. Omkar just had their number. No one was really watching that Heaven area, and that seems to be a big problem on Ascent. Many a times people just don't mark Heaven, and people are just able to come out in the open, get those kills, and back the hell off. RVK, for the time being, has picked up a shoulder shot on the Omen, and REK is also going to eat a shock dart elsewhere. Light-Up's going to find Skargod as they're trying to make their move towards A, but Knight Rider gets that kill. Probably going to be able to upgrade to that Spectre. SQL looking for the pick. He's not going to find it. Knight Rider takes... REK takes him out, and Knight Rider is going to find another kill on Knight Rider. It's all down to him. Him against the wall. He's going to make some noise, break that window, give away some footsteps, but the spike is dropped mid. And that pretty much means that Knight Rider is not going to be selling anyone any fakes today. Just going to be trying to push forward and pick up that spike. Probably going to get shot in the back as Scone sees him, and that's the end of that. I think that Ares is going to be a little bit ominous for the side of Force One, as it foreshadows a Cone just spraying through that B wall and getting those picks on B main.
Yeah, I'm expecting that, honestly. You mentioned about that Stim Beacon and that Ares combo. We don't have a Stim Beacon, but that Ares in itself is pretty powerful. I mean, waiting for the Odin, though. I just want the Odin to be in action, but they're already in position, right? The attack kind of is not very obvious right now. They're putting mistakes. At this point, the Cone, he comes in with the spray down, clears off that angle, but also gets some intel on the back of it. No information is information as well. Knight Rider looking to make something happen on the A side. The drone gives away one position. Fire falling back as well. So this works really well. It's only an engagement of information at this point. Everybody's still trying to work something. Look at this.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, what? They allowed two players to walk up front. NK wall. He does not even expect that. Skargod shuts down one, but they already know that their spawn has been infiltrated. Rafa in prime position. I'm trying to try with his spans down, but Skargod is gonna find another one fired up. Has been brought down as well. A 3v4. This is disastrous. Rafa's position was unchecked. They allowed him, but Cone, he is aware right now. But with the Ares, will he be able to do much?
Yeah, it's going to be hard. Rafa just playing around with his satchels, just not really peeking, but keeping him in that position. Nixer is going to pick up that op point, and when he dies on the next round, he's going to have his ult ready. But yeah, this clutch is nigh impossible for him. Isn't full shields and HP though, so maybe he can actually find it, but does not check the angle, and RVK takes him out. As Force One put up their first round rather quickly this time around. Not really going to wait for 4 rounds to kick in from the side of Cohesion to make a comeback. And this is a very important map for them to win. If they don't win this one, they are going to be losing this one out to the side of Cohesion, and they're not even going to get a point for it. Remember, if you want a single point as a part of your loss, you do need to win one map. But that hasn't happened for the side of Force 1 just yet. And yeah, now the first buy round comes through over from... Oh, never mind, it actually does not come through. Huh, interesting. So it seems that all their upgrades in that second round didn't leave them enough money to buy weaponry in this one. Just gonna be down to sheriffs. See how much work they can do with it. Those paint shells. Just gonna prevent anyone from going forward and getting peeks out. Naixera still holding that corner with that sheriff. And it seems that Force 1 are taking this slow. I like this approach. Don't really rush into those close angles on an eco round. You're gonna run into shorties, you're gonna run into buckies and charges that you might not like seeing. And yeah, Knights are going to continue to hold this area, does not get spotted. That drone was looking in the other direction, but that recon dart is going to reveal him. And there you go, he has been spotted. This man's going to come through from the smoke, but he manages to stay alive by the skin of his teeth and get himself back to safety. And Force 1 wisely decide to back off, anticipating that they might have already rotated out. Scargod spots that jet at the tail end of that smoke, and Omkar are going to be jump peeking to try and see if they're pushing in mid. The answer is going to be yes, but they have already entered that B site, pushing in from market as well as that B main area. Knight Rider looking to get the backstab going, finds one pick, dashes away, and that creates a sense of doom and gloom over on the side of Cohesion. They're not really going to know which area to check. It's all down to Omkar as well as Gon. And Gon's going to find one kill, but that's about it. Force 1 pick up this round as well. Great stuff by them. Only losing 2 rifles, building up that economy, making sure that they have another buy when they need one. Great stuff by them.
Yeah. I mean, this is absolutely criminal for Team Cohesion, honestly, to leave that mid area completely open. They've done this 2 rounds in a row, and they've lost 2 rounds on a trot. The first round, Scargod, as well as, if I'm not mistaken, Omkar or Naixera, sorry, Scargod or Knight Rider, they actually find their way to the attacking spawn. This time around, they also do the same thing, right? They make their presence felt on the A side, as a result of which SK-WoW leaves away his mid control and they completely shift to the side, which leaves the entire avenue open. They explode too much that they actually get an entry, a free entry into the B side. They get city control as well. They get so much control, they get so much real estate, which Team Cohesion cannot really come back from. But this time around, the attacking setup looks a bit different. They're trying to make something happen against roommate by SK-WoW in that A-shot position to try and hold them back. Fired up, gets one in RVK, so that's a mid lurker completely. Now the Cohesion SK-WoW finds one, that is 2 guns down already. They're still going to make this work. Another frag comes in as well. I believe SK-WoW has done enough, but Rafa is going to get the trade, but that's about it. A 2v4 shouldn't really work in favor, unless of course they can make a miracle happen. The drone is going to give away his position, but Knight Rider, this time around, he's not actually going to be the Heaven's control, but Cone is going to find him. One good shot, and this turns into a 1v4. The lockdown is there as well.
Oh man, Rafa gets spotted. No way on earth he could have pulled that off. Killjoy ult coming in handy. They're going to get the defuse as well, as Cohesion put up a 3rd round on board. Winning this buy, important for them. But Force 1 is still going to have another one because they planted the spike, and they also have some extra money left over that can be used to drop another rifle and purchase light shields for themselves if need be. So yeah, Cohesion not out of murky waters just yet, but if they win this one, they should have a sigh of relief coming in soon. The issue is that REK and Shivy can't really buy up rifles, so maybe Rafa's going to have to drop one of them. And he'll drop over Shivy a Phantom or a Vandal, I think, as Shivy is going to purchase up all the utility that he needs on that Sova. And there you go. He's going to have his Phantom at the ready. I think Rafa might have sacrificed his satchel there to try and, give over that drop, but that's okay. Having 5 rifles is what's really, really important. Let's see if they can find a pick to start things off. You're fired up. If he can get this pick and back off, that could be absolutely massive because there's no presence whatsoever from Force 1 on any other part of the map. That Owl is going to spot him. He's going to get tagged up, and he doesn't destroy that Owl in the nick of time. The attacking Killjoy lockdown comes through. Rafa goes on with the showstopper, finds Naixera. And there you go, that's a pick being found. I am not sure what the hell happened to that boom bot. It went absolutely bonkers there. But another player has been detained in that lockdown. I'm not too sure who it is. Oh, it's Omkar towards the back of that area. I don't think they're going to anticipate this. I think they're just confused. as to where that, you know, the lockdown might have occurred. They might have been suspecting that happened towards defender spawn area, but it doesn't. And Omkar is going to get picked off by RVK, who was watching that flank. Plant has been taken down. I wouldn't be too surprised if they just pick up weapons and try to save here. And that's what they're going to go for. They're just going to try to keep those rifles, take him to the next round, and hopefully those rifles can work their magic and give them a nice eco win. But for the time being, they're just going to save.
Yeah. Fight Up has been hitting a lot of shots lately. I mean, that is kind of I don't know. I feel like Fired Up, his angles were really crucial, right? The fact that he's not hitting the first shot and therefore giving away that real estate is working against team cohesion in a way. But I don't want to criticize him too much. I feel like there's a lot of room for him to kind of get back on the track. But yeah, a lot of ultimates invested Team Force One really respecting Team Cohesion this time around, because the lockdown was there, the Raze ultimate was there as well. Interestingly enough, Omkar used his ultimate as well to get out of the lockdown, but he got detained no matter what, so that was crazy. He tried to work up a backstab, but instead he just got caught in that ultimate. But I mean, this is pretty even Steven. It looks even Stevens right now, 3-3. Both the teams have been taking jabs at each other, but this time around, I expect a mid rush from the side of Team Force One, because they're trying to make something happen, right? They a lot of different territories. Fired Up, get some information, and will relay them back to the team. But this time around as well,
oh no, Omkar!
Absolutely no presence in mid. Rafa blowing them away. SKY, how much can he do? He possibly gets one pick, but we get the second one as well. That's the question. He is on his Super Saiyan mode, Empress, but Rafa shots him in the head. Fired Up, coming back with the daggers, gets one. A 2v2. This can certainly work in his favor. He doesn't get a planter. RVK one taps him like Terra. A 1v2 wide off of him. Ever dependable RVK shuts him down. And fourth round for Team Force One. Again and again. They've realized the chunk in the armor this time around. The defense on Haven was so good, but this time around they've always left the mid avenue open, which has been the prime target for Team Force One. They shut down those angles, they put down those two smokes, and that's it. The round is theirs.
I mean, not only that, they didn't. I mean, even if the communication came, Omkar and Cone didn't respond in time. They just got flashed and picked off, their backs turned against the wall. And yeah, Force One exploiting all these gaps in the defense of Cohesion is starting to cause problems for them. I think Cohesion need to show some more presence towards mid. But now they're going to be on an eco and just pray to the gods and hoping that they can find some picks here, do some damage to the economy of Force One. I mean, that'd be the best case scenario, because they are building up quite a bank. But yeah, I'm not sure if that's even going to happen. There is one rifle that's available in the hands of SKY, but it's not going to see any targets just yet as he's all the way towards B main. Knight Rider doesn't really find anyone, but Rafa finds a pick with the paint shells on Nike's. That is interesting. And Knight Rider is going to continue to hold on to Heaven, getting spammed through the smoke. Does not really get spotted right away. Still holding on to this position, looking to peek in, and I don't think he's been spotted just yet. He's now going to go in, but gets taken out by SKY, and SKY can certainly make this clutch work. If there's any Asian that can do it, it's him on the Reyna. And maybe he can peek out and get another kill. They can make something happen. They want to kind of pick up that second rifle. The Reyna's going to jump in towards Generator. Rafa does not get cleared. He's caught alone in this position, and SKY is going to take him out. The ult comes in from zone. They're trying to find anyone towards the wine area, but they're unsuccessful in doing so. SKY finds the third kill. Onto RVK. Fired Up going on, making some space. Can SKY find another? Yes, he can. 4 kills. He's looking for the 5th one, trying to take out Chili. And he will get the ace as the side of Cohesion. They win an eco round, but do they have time to make it for these deals? Yes, they do. Oh boy, SK, wow, just shutting down every single player on the side of Force One. And I know we don't really have a camera for his face, but if we did, he'd be smiling right now.
Change your name from SKY to ASKY.
Oh boy.
I mean, this man, he decimates everybody. Most of the players from Team Cohesion, they were on their I don't know, pistols? Marshals? I'm not really sure what they had. They had Spectres on them as well.
Sheriffs, yeah. The only person who had a Vandal was SKY, and he made it work.
He comes in, he destroys everybody. Now, kudos to the ultimates, right? The ultimate coming in from the Sova and a lot of different utilities coming in from them was perfectly timed, right? So that SKY could shine. But this one does shine. He always delivers. We have a pick on RVK as well. Omkar, he gets a second one. And that's 2 players down in the mid corridor. So Team Cohesion, they're actually learning from the mistakes right now. Right up in prime position. Even this guy learns and he doesn't miss a shot.
Wow.
Flawless from Team Cohesion, and they look to be back on track.
Man, Cohesion looking like a completely different beast from Season 1. And man, there you can see, Force 1, they're going to take a time out and figure out what the hell is it that they need to do right to try and end this half with an advantage. I mean, they do have a buy? They could string together a buy if they want to. Shivi has enough for Light Shields and Phantom, but yeah, Shivi doesn't have a single kill to his name. I mean, if you're going to quickly press tab, Salty, you're going to find out that Shivi actually has not found a single kill this game. But yeah, who knows? Maybe his chest of kills is going to open up in this particular round. But yeah, Cohesion looking very, very strong as for some reason, I've never seen a team leave mid open in the same half, manage to get an ace and then get the run advantage in that same half. I mean, I've never seen that ever before. It just seems so antithetical. On one hand, they keep leaving mid open, and then on the other hand, they're able to make a crazy eco round wins like those. I mean, that is just insane to me. Cohesion, if they just didn't leave mid for a little while and they actually managed to hold on to it, I think they'd be pretty much unstoppable. Force 1 would have a really hard time breaking through the defenses.
But I mean, Force 1 is pretty adaptable, right? They will determine what sort of an avenue they want to explore. Right now, I feel like the fact that they've explored mid way too much, Team Cohesion is a bit aware about it, and that is one of the reasons why they're still trying to make that mid presence felt, right? SK while pushing in. Aggressive. They want to shut down aggressions right off the bat. Therefore, you pull down the shutter, you kind of leave out that territory out of the equation. But Rafa, try and do something in the shot area. Mind you, there is a player already, and the KJ setup is there as well. So this can be a pretty hard push for them.
Absolutely, that recon dart is going to reveal pretty much the entirety of the garden, but they're not feeling too comfortable pushing in just yet. There are 4 players perched up outside that garden's area. I have no idea what the hell Force 1 are trying to do here. There's going to be an alarm ball in mid that's going to alert them to their presence. That boom bot goes forward, trying to sell them on some sort of a fake. And Omkar, he does throw smoke there. But yeah, this mid area left completely open. They are going to get into defender spawn and slice up this map any way they like. They cut it into as many pieces as they want. And you can see Korn is starting to get a little paranoid. He's looking towards that defender spawn area while trying to hold on to B main. And SK Wow, he's pressed his ult, but he doesn't see anyone there just yet. And they are actually coming in with that huge backstab. That recon is going to reveal everything. And Krone going to be in a hard position. Scarbo's going to take him out. Get rid of him instantly by Omkar. SK Wow sees one, takes him out. Gets a second one through the wall. Look at the third one as well. Will find it. And SK Wow and his clutches. My, oh my. They leave mid open, but they make it work. And this is what they've been trying to accomplish since the very start. I think this is what they were trying to do. Even though they leave that mid area open, Salty, they're just able to hold on from the site itself and just show that having mid control by itself doesn't do all that much unless you use it to sow chaos and confusion into the enemy ranks.
I mean, my jaw is kind of dropped right now for a second because SK Wow and Omkar, the way they held on to those pushes, right? They got 5 frags in a matter of seconds, but
Get out of my way!
does this work every time? Is this a plan? How can this be a plan? Because this can certainly work 1 or 2 times, but you cannot really expect to shut down aggression from CT spawn, from the garage door, from mid door as well. Every time, right? SK Wow, you can't get to pick on the scar, but as consistent as ever.
Oh no, Rafa!
He actually takes him down mid-air. The rocket launcher, the big bad rocket launcher was absolutely cancelled. That was a disrespect right there. But RVK, he gets a disrespect of his own because the sheriff are singing, but oh god, he taps him as well. A lot of trades happening, 4v2.
Yeah, I don't think this is rather take. Nothing but sheriffs in their hand. Knight trying to try his luck, but he's not going to find anything. And Omkar is very, very happy to lap up those Eagle frags. Start planning at this point. Thank you very much. I have 11 kills to my name. What have you done this game? And yeah, I mean, I think that's a question that Force 1 should maybe be asking Shivi right now. But jokes aside, I think Force 1 are really struggling to put up any rounds on board against the side of Cohesion. I think this is more Cohesion just really having worked on their flaws and their mistakes and looking sharp as hell, rather than Force 1 screwing up. I mean, they didn't really expect Cohesion to be this strong of a team, but Yeah, Cohesion really showing us why they are considered to be such a strong team, or rather, why they should be considered to be such a strong team. Once again, they're going to leave mid open, no alarm bots there, instead placing them all the way towards there. And Omkar, oh my god, that ult is going to reveal everything, all their plans are going to be muddled now as Omkar, I'm pretty sure he saw at least 2 people towards that side, and that lockdown coming in is going to give them all the info in the world. They still think that they might be trying to sell some sort of a fake, but no, this is not a fake. They are still going in on the back of that KJ lockdown. Rafa is going to get that plant, that Nanostorm is not really going to deter him. Nysera still surviving for the time being though, but is going to get taken out by Shivi as he finally opens up the scoreboard for himself. Those shock darts don't really find anyone, and Kone has the Odin in his hand. He's going to be waiting on that recon, which is now available. Maybe try and find a pick, but the Cosmic Divide comes through. That recon breaks the glass, finds a player, and he's also going to find RVK, but the push comes in from Rafa, and Kone bites the dust. First one, they stem the bleeding, they make it 7-5, but 7-5 is still a bit of a disastrous scoreline if the side of Cohesion can win that pistol round.
Wow, good stuff from Team Force One actually, because they actually thought that, all right, we have explored way too much, we have done multiple things in mid, we have done multiple things in short. This time we're gonna go YOLO, and they for sure they go YOLO, right? They have the lockdown available. They place the utilities so perfectly that Nysera's defense over there was completely rendered useless. Now, if I had to sum up Team Cohesion in a matter of few words, I would say they don't fix the chunk in their armor. They just dodge the bullets in a way that the bullets don't penetrate the armor. Instead, they hit the strong points, right? They still keep the mid open, but they actually figure out a way to shut down the aggression from mid. But this time around, they are on the defense. They are on the attacking side. So we can see Team Force One, what they have in store, right? And right at that, Knight Rider in aggressive position, and Team Cohesion, they're looking to go split, right? They're playing for information. They have a presence in the B area as well. They have a presence in A, but they're actually falling back. So
yeah, for the time being, Cohesion is just testing the
read
waters.
if the read is perfect for them. But yeah,
Yeah, they're just trying to test the waters out. They're trying to see what kind of setup Force One are running. That's in the courtesy of that recon as well as that Owl, just trying to spot things out here. And sure, Shivi gets spotted, but that nade coming in from Rafa is going to slow down this push a little bit, buy them some more time. But the smoke comes in from Omkar, and that is the cue for them to go in deep. Knight Rider still holding on inside. The smoke going to go forward and pick up Ryzen. Shivi finds 2 with the short start. Gets a third one with the classic, and all of a sudden, this push has fallen all over its head. Kone looking to find a kill with that triple burst, but doesn't really get anyone. A flawless round to start things off here for Force One. A much needed win at that as well, as they're going to pick up the Spectres. And Knight Rider is going to start saving up for that operator.
Shivi was staying quiet just for this, like he knew he's gonna get kills with the shock dart. This time around, his guns they're not required. He gets 2. This man gets 2 with the shock dart. Who does that? But jokes aside, I guess the fact that he has finally broken that 0 mark in his kills tally is going to give him a lot of confidence to work with. And thankfully, he's not even the lowest fragger right now in this match. Nysera with 3 frags. He's going to be under a lot of fire. But he is definitely pushing in, right? This can be an aggressive A-shot push. No information given as yet, so RBC can be overloaded with players, and that is certainly he is. He is falling back, but will he be able to get kills? He does have the Spectre. Wonderful stuff over there. The Gravity Bell and Nanoswarm combination coming true to their name, and RBK, he gets a third for himself.
Remaining.
Ah, boys,
That's
there you
about
go.
it.
Yep. That round. Oh, before it even started, great Nanoswarm placement there by the Killjoy. RVK just baiting them in and getting all those kills one after the other, lapping them all up. Almost got SK Wow as well, but SK Wow was up against a weakened RVK and won that fight. And now, the real fight begins. 7-7 scoreline. It is anyone's game now. Both teams with a bye in their hands. As looks like Force One are going to continue to play this one out as a bit of a bonus. They have an operator in the hands of Knight Rider. And if that operator does work, then this bonus round is going to work out for them big time. But the question is it going to find that first initial pick? They are posted up outside A main where Knight Rider is, and Knight Rider is going to take the opportunity to push out. Can he find someone though? No. Cohesion, they know that Knight Rider likes to make this play where he pushes out. Oh, Omkar shows his hand, is going to get revealed, and he's going to get shot in the head.
Spike down
Thanks
A.
to Knight Rider and his operator. They find that first pick and they back off. Now Scargod holding on to this short area for the time being has done a very good job of preventing them from pushing in, and they're quite weak. You can see SQL is down to like 3 HP, and Knight Rider's pushing forward, looking for that pick. This is unnecessarily dangerous. Why the hell did you do that? Gon is gonna find him, and as a result, now they have an opening. The operator taken out, the threat is gone, and Scargod is gonna continue to hold on to this area. I mean, he has the smokes at the ready, but still, that was not necessary and not needed at all from the man, Knight Rider.
Yeah. I mean,
Right there.
he could have just stayed
Goodbye,
right, but he
Joel.
still tried to kind of keep people down. Rafa with a nade, but still gone, finding one. The boom bot coming out as well. Rafa still trying to go for a third. Will he get that?
30
That's the
seconds left.
question. They also have a presence in the A main region as well, so Rafa has to care about that. I believe Shivi is well positioned. The fire up is gonna find him. Rafa still trying to deal with two players. Has been sacked for about 39 HP to work with.
Last
The
player
turret as well
standing.
as Sova. It's too much for him to handle a third kill for Cone, but RVK all by himself. 1v3 required of him right now.
Oh yeah.
But seriously, Force 1, they could have worked this much better, right? They had the first kill, the spike was down, everything was in their favor. RVK still gonna toy around, the turret gives away his
double
position, he
dead.
gets Night Terror! Wonderfully secures a van for himself, a 1v2 can definitely isolate them.
One enemy
He
remaining.
isolates
Oh my
one,
God.
his position has been revealed, but for sure he knows where the final KJ is, where the final Sova is, but he's gonna play away with his ultimate. First shot missed, still tapping in, baiting the third one.
Oh no, he was low! RDK, he was low 80 HP and gets taken out by Cone. Oh man, REK. I mean, not like he had the liberty of tapping that bomb away anyway because the time ran
Yeah.
out, but yeah, that's unfortunate.
Good
Looks like
efforts.
Cohesion. Yeah, they're gonna put up another round on board that operator. Even though they found that initial pick, it doesn't seem to work out for them. And Force 1, man, they are not looking good. Like, this is the second time I've seen, that operator come in where they get this one chance, one gamble, and it doesn't really work out in their favor. I mean, it started off working out in their favor. They found an initial pick, but then for no reason at all, Knight Rider decides to push forward in that situation and tries to get a pick.
Yeah, absolutely. This time around, an aggressive push. Rafa, he gets one. A nade is going to push them back as well, but oh god, he risks. And a push as well. Turns him to 36 HP. The Nanoswarm grenade is going to delay that, but they're going to regroup and try and make something happen in the mid and A area as well. But again, that presence in the mid area with the Marshal will discourage from Team Cohesion to kind of make something happen. And he's also pushing in. Look at this. They're pinching in from the B side as well as the A, as well as the mid region as well. So all that they have right now is tunnel vision into the A side. Will they be able to break forth? That's the question. The lockdown comes in as well. And that is the final avenue gone completely. Team Cohesion, they have only one option. That is to rush in. Oh, look at this, JB. He's a wonderful prepare. He gets one.
Revealing area.
A reveal comes
There
out. It's
they
going
are.
to reveal all the cards.
Gonna continue to hold on here, just peek out at the right timing. Almost finds it. He lands a bullet in Cone's skull, but doesn't really get that kill. Fire up takes out Knight Rider. That Marshal
30
doesn't do all
seconds
that
left.
much work. Rafa spots the jet dash into her own cloudburst, takes her out with the classic. And can he find Omkar? No, the triple burst doesn't do all that much work for him, and Rafa makes it out alive at the skin of his teeth, but he can't get spammed from that position. That satchel and that movement gets him to a safe spot, but he's gonna look to push back in. They're not gonna
Spike
expect this.
planted.
Looks like Rafa might just be able to do some work along with that classic. I think he heard that. I think he heard him
Yes.
teleport towards the B main area, towards the A main area, and he's gonna relay that information
Standing ahead.
over to
Last
the kill
player
right there.
standing.
Goes in, peeks out, does not get the kill. But REK is in a position to clutch this out. They're both just one bullet away from death. That Sheriff is gonna do that work, but once again he finds himself in the spot. It's all gonna come down to timing. He gets that one kill, takes out Cone, but there's still Omkar remaining. Miss shot, and Omkar takes RVK out, and that's the end of that. As the side of Cohesion put up another round on board for themselves. An eco round by Force 1 nonetheless, but they did do a lot of damage, so they're gonna be quite happy with what they managed to accomplish here.
I mean, RVK in this entire game, he's been all about clutches. This man has been clutching day in and day out. And he's been put in those situations multiple times. He's the one who is surviving the most. He's the one who is in that position with those 1v2s, 1v3s required of him. And sometimes he does get that, sometimes he doesn't. But Team Force One, they have to stop relying on RBK that much, right? The defense is strong, but they're giving too much emphasis on RBK's presence. Most of the time, it's Knight Riders giving away kills. They get that information first, but they kind of give it away. Fight up again, pushing up. He does have the daggers available as well. They are breaking down the wall. Nightshera can pinch him from the B main area as well. Rafa being shot down. Rafa's nade is gonna get Nightshera. So that's a 1-for-1 trade, but RBK, he gets SK. Wow, Knight Rider, he gets Omkar. Fight up has a lot of responsibilities again. Choking with the daggers. A 1v4 code. Will he be able to kind of make something happen? Knight Rider ready with the op. Cope is pointed at him, but will he peak?
One is in a tricky position here. Even if he goes out, that sentry is going to spot him. At this point, he's just relinquished to try and taking that fight. Waiting for that recon to come in. Does not get spotted. Knight Rider wins. It's an opening, but Cone does not connect. And gets revealed in the end. Is going to get stunned up by that Astra Star. And the gravity well as well on the other side to suck him through. He gets one kill, turns his attention in the other direction, but REK is going to find him. And that's that. Force One. Bit of a crucial round on board for themselves. Prevent the side of Cohesion from snowballing out of control with their economy. And now Cohesion are going to have to do a bit of an eco here, as they don't really have money to buy up rifles in this round. Gonna be down to sheriffs, but yeah, some much needed breathing room here for Force One, as we've seen a constant back and forth on Ascent here. Salty, I mean, this could go either way.
This can certainly go either way. I mean, but honestly, I feel like it's Team Cohesion who is taking 2 steps forward and Team Force One who is taking 1 step following them. Right? It's never been it has never been Force One on the lead. It's never been they've been dominant as of yet. It has always been them chasing Team Cohesion. And if that stays, if that trend continues, they're gonna have to give away this map as well. And not just this map, they're gonna give away the series to Team Cohesion, which wasn't really expected. A 2-0 victory for Team Cohesion in this map. But look at this though. SK, wow.
They feign presence towards A main and then start making their way towards B main, but that owl comes in and nick a time, spots out 2 players that should tell them what's up and what's happening. As wonder if a push comes in from the A main area to try and confirm if there's presence towards B. Well,
if SK Wow gets taken down, I feel that's game over. That's round over for them, because this is a pure phantom buy for him. Most of them are on their sheriffs.
Yeah.
He needs to get a pick or 2 at this point. On to the Empress mode. Knight Rider with the op. Gets Nightshera. Gets SK Wow as well, and that's about it. That's done and dusted. Knight Rider gets his third. Will he get a... Oh, misses. That's the way to safety, thankfully.
Gets the 4th one. Give this man the ace. No, Rafa's gonna try to deny it. Trying to walk forward with the Spectre and find the kill for himself. He finds the ace. Knight Rider responds to the ace with an ace of his own in the second half of this round. Or rather this map. But yeah, I don't think Force One are out of shallow water, are out of deep waters just yet. They are in a bit of a precarious position. They have money though, so that's good for them. Even if they end up losing a round or 2, they'll have money to buy up. But that doesn't mean they want to fall back on that situation and cash in on it just yet. Elsewhere, on the other side, Cohesion, they are going to be in a bit of a rough spot. SK Valve buys up a Vandal, doesn't really have money remaining for shields because he bought that Phantom in the previous one, and it seems that he's going to have to pay for it now. Might make some more sense to let the Killjoy or, you know, the Omen go through first and take that initial fight. We'll see what happens though. For the time being, everyone playing passively. Knight Rider sees no presence towards mid whatsoever. So yeah, he's just going to be holding on for the time being. He's not really going to be in a position where he can do all that much. REK elsewhere finds 2 kills for himself. And yeah, it doesn't look like they're going to be able to get much on the back of that operator. Cohesion though. 3 players alive in that lockdown going through. Might just be able to get the plant going and fire up Chase forward and gets that kill. Well,
wow.
That shot dart ends up finding another player, and there you go. Cohesion now have a realistic chance of winning this one, but Knight Rider comes and takes out Fire Up, and now it's all down to Omkar. Shivy might get caught off guard here. The push may not see it coming. Rafa, nice paint shells. Omkar gonna instantly cancel his ult, but gets spotted out by Knight Rider as he gets taken out. And there you go. Force One put up another round on board. Cohesion.
Fine.
A rough time here. Yeah.
I mean, it has been like Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen for way too long, right? They've been itching at each other, jabbing at each other, taking the lead, going back second, taking the lead, going back second. But this time around, Team Force One finally get the 10th round on board. But what's going to happen next? That's the question, because we've seen them give away leads on this map, especially. We have seen them kind of not being able to finish the game, which they have a lead on. Nitride is going to have a lot of responsibilities because this time around, he's really kicking, right?
Oh, yeah.
And most of Force One, they're looking very composed, but Team Cohesion, they have to battle that economy. They saved up for that buy round, but couldn't really make anything happen, courtesy to that amazing stuff that happened in the A main region by RVK. But again, battling this eco, getting money back, and then trying to make something happen, this just doesn't really work. And they are in that deep waters already.
Oh, yeah. Knight Rider is going to find another pick in that mid area. Scargott looking to try his luck as well. Doesn't really see out anyone just yet, but SKO has a marshal in his hand and he's looking to hopefully at least get one pick with it. Might just walk into Scargott's crosshairs at this rate.
One
RVK is
enemy
going to find
remaining.
Fired Up. Knight Rider is going to find SK. Wow, RVK is going to find Code, and that's the end of that. 11th round on board for Force One, as they now are looking to close this one out. One more round and they're going to be at map point. Economy not an issue for them at all, as they're all up to 7,000 credits. Well, not all of them. Scargott's at 5,900 and Chivy's at 6,600, but all doing very, very good in terms of money. So money is not the problem for this team at the moment. And Scargott is already deploying all of his stars, just preemptively trying to put his team in a spot where he doesn't really have to. But he doesn't really have to go into astral form and throw the stars out again. He can be there with his rifle to try and fight right off the bat. He's gonna pull one of those back, but yeah. For now, Cohesion, once born, twice shy. They're gonna play this one out super slowly.
Yeah, for sure. They saved up for that very coveted op on the fired up for way too long, so they have to make something happen for sure. But Knight Rider is already positioned. He is this tank in mid, and this is something which Team Cohesion didn't really do, right? And I talked about this time and time again. The mid presence. You have to have a player in that position who will shut you down. Fired up, missing the shot. The shotgun comes into challenge the position again. He does get the boom bot though, but Team Force One, the defense looks solid. There's no chunk in the armor. For sure, the smoke's gonna come out, but I'm still trying to think what Cohesion will look forward to. They've run down the clock enough, right? There's like 30 seconds left on the clock, and they haven't got a single pick. They have no information as well. And right now, they have to clunk up in the A corridor, A shot corridor, and make something happen. 20 seconds remaining. There's no time for them to experiment, and again, they're trying to make something happen in mid. Few players going there, they're coming back and forth. SK1 gets a pick, thankfully, but finally RVK is there as well. Will he be able to get more? So that's the question. 40 seconds on the clock. RVK, he gets a planter. Knights are down. RVK is finally trying to raid off, but that's about it. SK, wow. He has so much responsibilities at this point. Knight Rider.
Yeah.
He finally planted the spike. But will they have enough time to go back to their position? The full composition comes in. The ultimate comes out as well. Rafa gets one with the Phantom, but trades out. SK1 prime position. Knight Rider gets one as well. A 1v2 or rather 2v2, which has turned into a 1v2. Knight Rider now scopes SK1. A sheriff on him. Still trying to check those corners, but fired up. Still composed. Wait.
Oh no.
Is it? Oh, is it thing gone?
No. He's easier. Never mind. He just taking his move. Oh, Fired Up finds that kill. Knight Rider got a dink, but Fired Up got the kill. And looks like Cohesion not gonna roll over and die just yet, thanks to Fired Up's heroics, but their economy not looking all that good. Probably gonna have to give up some utility in this round to be able to afford those rifles. Meanwhile, on the side of Force One, they have all the money in the world to work with. But yeah, Knight Rider made it look so good. Almost managed to get the defuse, but in the end just could not see it through.
I feel like had he gone for the full defuse over there, it could have worked. Might have worked, but the fact that Team Force One, they look comfortable with their defensive setup is a good reason for them. They can definitely make this work, but most of the time Team Cohesion have been trying to run down the clock way too much. It was around, what, 5 seconds remaining on the clock when they got the spike down, which is kind of a bit risky. It also kind of takes away the time for you to kind of get back to your post plant positions, which they couldn't really do that in that round. Thankfully, Fired Up did clutch out, but that's not going to happen every round, right? You cannot take every round to a 1v1.
Yeah. Look at the setup coming in from the side of Force One. 3 players playing towards B main. Just one holding on to that A main area along with Scargot. So yeah, SK Wow gets deleted from the server for the time being. But it's going to come back in the next round. RVK is going to find Nikes. Omkar is going to finally get a pick on Scargod. And there you go. Some signs of life coming in from the region. RVK, though, through the smoke, picks up Fired Up. That is dirty. And there you go. The lockdown's going to come through from him. He's so excited to use it. The spike is going to be planted by Cone, but he's not in a position to hold on to this spike. He needs to get the hell out of here, but he can't. He's going to try to fight his way out. Had the Hunter's Fury, but couldn't really pop it, and now he's going to be detained. Or is he going to get knifed? No, he's not going to get knifed. Knight Rider's going to take him out. Force One. Math point on board for them, as they're going to have to take it to split if they want to win the series.
RVK being RVK over there. I mean, casually takes on 3 players without even breaking a sweat.
Match point.
This has been one real problem for Team Cohesion to deal with, right? RVK and his mechanical skills. It's just way too sharp. This guy has been shutting down almost every attack he's in. And when he is in top form, it's almost indestructible.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, his sense of timing is absolutely immaculate. There's no one who's better than him on that. But Cohesion, they're going to scrape together whatever weaponry they can buy and try and make this work. 4 players looking to go in towards the mid area. Probably going to sneak off shot in a bit. The Owl spots out Knight Rider, forces him away, and he's not going to repeat that angle as they start moving up towards shot. But are they sure they want to contest Knight Rider? He has been looking very sharp with that operator. He's looking for that pick. Is there a paranoia available? No, there is not. Just smoke fired up low towards AB and Scargod. Gonna try and find that pick. Is gonna be successful, and Knight Rider is just gonna pull the door on them. Make them either break it or come all the way around. SK Wow has his ult and he has to do all the work for his team, but gets taken out by Scargod right off the bat. And there you go, Scargod's gonna find himself a 3rd kill as well. It's all down to Cone. And we are going to split, ladies and gentlemen. As Force One pull this one back. And Cohesion, they're gonna have split to prove their mettle.
Yeah. This was actually pretty tight. I almost thought that Team Force One, they might give it away, especially because of the fact that Team Cohesion, they looked strong. For sure, there were chunks in the armor. We talked about their mid presence. We talked about the way they couldn't really include a lot of varieties in their attack in their attacking side, especially the way they did in Haven, right? In Haven, their playbook was so deep, they were trying to sell a lot of fakes, but in this map, they couldn't really prove their worth in the attacking side, especially. I don't think they won a lot of rounds in that half, but Team Force One, they were strong. They were looking to adapt. Most of the times, they were experimenting different things, and it finally worked.
Absolutely. Let's have a look at the match highlights and see exactly what Force One did right to take it a split. As yeah, I'm really curious to find out what is it that they changed about their playstyle. It seems that this time around they I mean, even though they had certain ideas on how to, play certain rounds, they were a bit more fluid. I mean, you could see that multiple times when the mid area was opened up, they took it up. They were like, okay, fine, you're going to leave mid open. We're going to try and exploit that. We're going to try and find picks. But even then, at times, Cohesion was just able to get those kills in return and stop that push from coming in.
Yeah, true that. I guess the fact that those few rounds worked, it's not gonna work every time, right? You cannot always, infiltrate the mid avenue, expect to be in CD spawn and work your way to a round victory every single time. So Team Force One, they got those 2 rounds where they won using this tactic, but they had to switch up because they knew that Team Cohesion is expecting that push, right? They are leaving mid open to expect that push, and they're shutting them down. There was one such round where Omkar and SK Wow, they just beautifully string together 5 frags in a matter of seconds, and they take back the backstab as well as everybody coming in from the door as well. So having said that, Team Force One, they kind of experiment different things, right? They start exploring the short area, they start exploring YOLO rushes on the side, which Team Cohesion wasn't really prepared to fully defend. especially when Nike's era was being bombarded with utility and information and was completely stunned over there. It's really hard for you to defend in that position. And this was one round where we saw Omkar and SK Wow put on a show for us. Look at this, 4 frags in a matter of seconds, and then SK Wow getting his third. This was one round where Force One knew that their tactic of a backstab couldn't really work every time, so they had to adapt. And in Force One, they are a team who can adapt really quick.
Yeah, Force One did a lot of things right in this game. Starting off, their attacking half didn't look all that good. They were in a bit of a pickle as Cohesion. They almost put up 8 rounds on board if it wasn't for that 1v1 in the end. But if Cohesion walked away with an 8-4, I don't know. I don't think we'd be actually making it a split. I think they would have taken this series and.
Yeah,
for certain. I mean, it didn't seem like Force One had what it took to just come back from an 8-4 half. Thanks to them, though, it was a 7-5 half, and a lot of it is thanks to this man, RVK, just single-handedly shutting down pushes by himself on that defense. Look at that. I mean, he almost got SK Wow as well towards the end.
yeah, RVK and Knight Rider, they've been shining in this map, especially getting those important frags, right? It's not just about getting kills, it's also about getting those important frags. And RVK and Knight Rider, they've been those guys who have been shutting down sites all by themselves, right? You put in RVK at the entrance of A, he's going to hold it down like a fortress, right? He gets 3 kills, he completely discourages the opposite team to push in any further. Knight Rider, you give him an AWP, he's going to give you an ace back. So, I mean, having 2 such players in your team, this always gives you the opportunity of a comeback. Look at this RVK. He had a fancy footwork, but he didn't have the luxury of time, and Kone finally took him down with the ultimate. And honestly, I felt like the ultimate was actually a risky play over there. He could have easily taken him down with a gun, but that's about it. A lot of factors played in this game, but the one that truly stood out was SK Wow was influential in the map of Haven. RVK was influential in the map of Ascent.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you put it perfectly there. And SKO, even though he had his moments of brilliance where he got that ace for his team in a round where, they
Yeah.
pretty much only had him to rely on and his Vandal. Apart from that, it seemed that they were really struggling on their own attacking side. But we're going to be coming back with Split in just a bit. And before we do so, we're going to be cutting to a short break. So you guys stay tuned in for Split. Until then, you're watching LG Ultragear presents the Esports Club Gauntlet Season 2, powered by WD Black and AMD Ryzen Radeon. My name is Floki, with me is Salty, and we'll be back in a bit. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to LG Ultragear presents the Esports Club Gauntlet Season 2, powered by WD Black and AMD Ryzen Radiant. My name is Floki, with me is Salty. If you want to get your Red Bull, make sure you scan the QR code down there and get yourselves one of these. But yeah, with that out of the way, Salty, and very interesting best of 3 has just occurred. Cohesion took the first map on Haven. Ascent was pulled back by Force One, and now it's down to Split. A map that both you and I were both hoping to see. I mean, maybe you predicted 2-0, so maybe you
Yeah.
weren't expecting it to go here. But yeah, Split, man, a map that nobody likes to play, but I'm always excited to see.
I mean, nice description there. I feel like Split has been kind of, I don't know, the black sheep amongst the family of Ascent, Split, Bind, etc. But yeah, I feel like Split being the perfect decider for this one because either of those teams won't really have that much of a breathing room, right? In Haven, it was Cohesion's home ground and they completely slayed the opposition. In
Mhm.
Ascent, I can't really see the same thing for Force One because
Whoa.
Cohesion came close. But
What?
RVK this time around, he's going to pick up the Viper. And I'm not really surprised, honestly. I mean, Viper does work on Split sometimes.
Okay,
It,
look at everyone else below RVK. Rafa is playing the Omen, Scargod's playing the Duelist on the Raze, and Knight Rider's playing the Sage.
oh,
That is
dude,
interesting. So usually this is not the case, Salty.
I'm
Knight
tilted.
Rider.
I'm
Yeah.
tilted.
Why are you tilted?
Because I don't know. I mean, sure. I mean, we do have a normal tendency to kind of shift agents and have the same roles, right? But this time around, they're actually shifting roles between them. Does that work?
mm, mm,
Potentially. I mean,
I
we'll
don't know.
find out. Maybe.
Now, Scargod
Maybe.
did used to play Duelist back in the day, but this is like way back. So I'm not sure if this is a gamble that's going to pay off for them. But what I do think is going to happen is that we're gonna see Rafa on the Omen, and I'm not too sure how I feel about that. I've never seen Rafa play that before. I've never seen him do all that well on that Omen. I don't know. I don't know what to expect. In all honesty, I feel like this is a bit of an unnecessary risk by them. They could have just continued with the Jet. Could have stuck to picking up Raze up for Rafa himself. Have someone else play the Viper in a moment. But hey, they want to try something new and they want to try something funky, and they're looking to make it work. They pick up Sky as their initiative of choice. That's what Shivi is going to be playing. But I don't know, somewhere or the other, I'm not too convinced on this Knight Rider Sage. I
Yeah,
don't know.
right. The Knight Rider Sage doesn't really go hand in hand, but I feel like Knight Rider has played Sage quite a few times. I do remember him playing Sage
Mhm.
sometimes when Split comes up, so I'm not really surprised with that. But Rafa on the Omen is something which does surprise me the most.
Yeah.
He could have easily gone with the Raze and Scargot have played the Rafa, right? I mean that's what makes normal sense. But if you look at the other side, we have Nightcare on the KJ fired up on Sage this time around, and SKY picking up the Jet. So a few reversal of roles over there, but this time around we can see a lot of presence in mid, all right? T Force
Yeah.
One, they're trying to break the mid wall, but wouldn't really make anything happen because the pistol round breaking the mid wall and securing that region is definitely not worth it. SK Wow, that is the reason why it is not worth it because SK Wow is gonna slap Rafa dead. But Shivi is still trying to make something happen. Con, he gets RVK in the process, and that is 3 players down already. Knight Rider, he strolls into sight and finds Omkar. But Shivi's presence is still
Last
gonna
player
annoy
standing.
Fight but finally he's gonna
Spike
find him.
down mid.
Yeah, Knight Rider. They know where he's going to be coming from. Thinks about going silently, but then ends up making noise, realizing that he's already been spotted. SK out cleans up. Once again, Cohesion put up a great round on defense to start things off on Split. And I have to say, I mean, that seemed a little silly from the side of Force One, the way they were just tapping away at the wall with the classics. It's not usually something you do in that very first round. Instead, if you really want to break that wall, you try to get multiple people in. send one up close to knife the wall. I mean, that classic takes forever to destroy that Sage wall.
Isn't it? So, I mean, for sure, Team Force 1, they're trying to take it easy, I guess, at least in the pistol round. SK banned already.
Oh, wow.
One taps Knight Rider, gets back to safety, but it's going to repeat, gets second one as well. That's expected because they are most their offenses on pistols. Fired up gets a third. And with that being said, I guess Team
enemy
Force
remaining.
1, they look done and dusted already. And no injuries on the side of Team Cohesion, so that's a good sign.
And once again, RVK is like, yep, you leave me alone with the sheriff in my hand and against the world. I'm not a man that's capable of miracles. I am not, God, just a guy who can sometimes land some really sick one-taps and clutch it out, but not every day. Let's see if he can actually find some picks and make it a little bit more interesting here. Now, if you could get that pick and then get the pick on SK and somehow get that spike down, to be the best case scenario for the team. But he's gonna get spotted by Omkar, who's just gonna run in and take him out. No fear whatsoever by him as RVK bites the dust.
He actually had fear, honestly. Omkar, he knew it's RVK. He knew he has Sheriff. He had to wide peek and drive by the man with the Spectre to finally finish him off. That's something which Omkar doesn't really do generally, but since it's RVK, he had to take the risk because he knew his crosshair was there, and in spite of all that movement, RVK still landed the body shot, so kudos to him.
Swamp grenade.
Yep. Nice nano swarm placement here by the Killjoy. Nikes are just looking to prevent them from pushing in. SK was probably going to bait in. Shivy going to throw out that wolf, send it towards ramps. They might not expect SK to go out and peek. He's going to find Scargot as a result, and there you go. That's the pick that they were looking for. And Cohesion somehow make it work. Nice Zera though. Those nanoswarms are not going to matter for much if he gets taken out, but he survives somehow with that Spectre still in his hands. Looking for help. He's stuck in the corner here. Can't really get out. There's another Sparrow available. Cone uses it to get some space, but now he's going to pop his heal out and maybe goes back up into full HP. Shimmy! He's going to be good for one kill. Night Rider manages to find himself 2 kills somehow towards that B side, but the spike is dropped. And it is being guarded by the members of Cohesion. As looking to find Knight Rider, will spot him out and take him out. Knight Rider not really checking that bottom area, and now it's all down to Rafa. Full shields, but might not expect Knight Rider to be here. And there you go, he gets taken out. Great stuff here again from the side of Cohesion as they win the first buy round, as they have been doing since the very start of the series. I mean, they've won those first buy rounds time and time again. And it usually takes a while for Force 1 to wake up.
Yeah, it certainly does. But once they do wake up, we've seen then they can turn around games, right? So we have to wait for that moment where Force 1 really feel comfortable. But as of now, it has been that same SK WoW show on the Jet. He has been so fabulous, getting in such awkward positions, getting frags and coming back.
Oh yeah.
This time around, we have a very big mid push coming in. Team Force 1, they want to make something happen. But with 2 players guarding this happening, I don't feel like it's going to be very profitable. The smoke comes out as well, so SK WoW is here as well. I mean, a lot of players are prepared to take this fight head on.
Wow, that Boombot scan range is absolutely huge. Spots pretty much everyone. Can drop his wolf, spot out the Omen, but jumps over him like a ballerina. Knight Rider's gonna find Omkar as a result of that, and yeah, Rafa looking to make some plays happen with that shrouded step. I don't know where he went. He just fell back. So he was trying to do. He find the pick, though. Spots out Cone, but doesn't get him. Flash on flash action as he gets flashed out, and Rafa is gonna get taken out by SK WoW. But look at the position Force 1 have found themselves in. A site not really open just yet. They're looking to go all the way around and get to B instead, but they walk into the meat grinder. The crossfire between Nike Zera as well as fired up. So strong. Oh boy, REK is gonna get taken out by Code, and that's it. It's all down to good old Knight Rider. Wait, it's actually SK WoW playing this. Never mind, not fired up. Fired up is playing the Sage.
I am
he takes out Knight Rider. Sage did.
I mean,
4-0.
This all came down crashing, Floki. I felt like Force 1, they pulled off such amazing stuff over there. I'll sum it up for you. Knight Rider gets a pick on the B side, right? They have that mid presence, they break the wall, but that's about it. They can't do anything. They can't make anything happen over there. So 3 players from Team Force 1, they take the sewers and they try and go the A side. Meanwhile, Knight Rider gets a pick onto Omkar in B main. That means that B side is completely weakened. They try and hit the A side, but then they decide that, oh wait, the B side is completely weakened. We're gonna take CT and completely rotate back to B, and that doesn't really work out. There was a crossfire setup, and everything came crashing down. They had such a good presence on the A side, they had such a good presence on the B side, but the fact that they were hesitant in hitting both of them and were still trying to consider options just completely broke down communications between them. Omkar still in prime position to get information. The defense looks crazy strong, but Knight Rider time and time again has gotten frags for him. Shivy gets one on the fired up and falls back. This is one man down, and this can certainly weaken the defense because now there is no mid presence. The wall has been broken.
I've got
We can
your
certainly
trail.
explore a lot of options.
Enemy
The
kill.
old one SKO, he slapped
You will
one on the
not
head.
kill my
But Scar
ally.
God is gonna be resurrected once again. Knight Rider, he's gonna find the dust. Shivy, he gets SKO up. Thankfully, that op is down.
Yeah, those Seekers coming in handy for Cherry as they spotted multiple players. REK is going to get that kill on Omkar. Unfortunately, that operator didn't do all that much more than Mike setup. Tried to be a little cheeky, pushed the smoke, got punished.
Blinded.
Goes flashing himself in, but doesn't check around himself and gets taken out. Oh boy. Post one, they finally put a round on board for themselves, but yeah, they're gonna have to keep this up if they want to come back in this map. Now, Split is a little bit defensive-sided, so I don't really blame them for not being able to put up so many rounds. But still, you want to try and get to 7-5 at least so you can hold the line. Otherwise, if you end up winning the first pistols as the attackers, then you're in such a spot where you don't really have to worry about, you know, the subsequent rounds. You sort of set the tempo for the rest of the game. And Force One, because they lost that first pistol round, they are essentially fighting an uphill battle here. A battle that if they want to take the lead in, they're gonna have to fight tooth and claw. SKWow died once. The operator was not recovered, but he still has money for another one. And that second flash doesn't really do all that much. He peeks out but misses the shot, does not get Scar God. He's gonna peek out once again, looking to find a kill. The smoke comes through. But he's gonna have to retreat towards the rope room this time around. He can't really go back towards the B heaven area, so position has been given up. And Rafa's looking to push in. They make some noise. What? SK, he did not anticipate Rafa pushing in like that, and Nixera is now going to continue to stay here as a result, just prevent him from going any further. Question is, do Force will make a move for B, or are they going to take cut short their losses and start moving in towards A? Fired up, looking for a pick himself. Might run into RVK. RVK jiggling around the corner and gets him as a result. Nixera takes out Rafa, but still a 3v3 situation being created here. No one in favor just yet. Shivy has a spike in his hands. No flashes. All down to Omkar. Garni does not find the kill. He
30
misses.
seconds left.
That is
Last player
absolutely
standing.
massive. Cole is also going to get taken out as Shivy wins this round for his team. There's only a killjoy remaining. Nixera has the lockdown, but I don't think he's going to try to face it for the clutch. REK is going to take him out, and that's that.
Wonderful stuff from Team Force One, honestly, but it all came crashing down when SKWow decided to casually climb up that rope like there's no one there. I mean, he should have expected a push, but I mean, we can see all 10 players, they can't. So there's that, but I feel like he's been taking those risks. He's been taking those risks time and time again with the op, you know, getting into weird positions, getting a hit and falling back. He has done a wonderful job in, you know, establishing that man advantage right at the start, but this time around, Team Cohesion couldn't really work in the, you know, work on the back of it. Again, that mid-presence SKWow. This time around with the daggers, it's going to resort to a classic and the daggers. So, yeah, there's not enough defense for Team Cohesion. Omkar aggressively keeping with the Sheriff Knight Rider. He's been dueling with Omkar for quite some time right now, but most of the time it has been Knight Rider who has done enough.
Yeah, well, they're going to know now there's a judge up in B heaven. And, yeah, it seems like Scargod's going to try to take this fight here. Close range against SKWow. Those knives could be a swing or a miss. Fired up, looking for a pick himself, but the Sheriff doesn't find it. Knight Rider gets that kill in return, and Scargod quite low, but is going to be healed up. Thanks to that Sky. SKWow gets one kill with the classic. Knight Rider finds
Spike
another one,
down,
takes
mid.
out Cone, and that's the B side being opened up completely.
Again, similar situation. Poor guy, and RVK once again is gonna headshot him. Team Force One, you've been talking about them like a sleeping giant, and they suddenly wake up. Yeah, they are certainly sleeping giant, and thankfully they have woken up and have gotten 3 rounds on a trot. But they need to keep up the ante, because if they take away the foot from the gas, this is going to be disastrous because team cohesion, they look strong. The defense looks good. But time and time again, it's RVK and Knight Rider who's been tying up those frags wonderfully, establishing that man advantage. And once that man advantage is there, the defense just breaks apart, right? Like House of Cards. That mid presence is essential. Most of the time, Omkar has been getting fragged, right? But this time around, they're conditioned to Omkar's presence. They know where he's gonna peek from. They know where he's gonna reposition. And look at this, they're constantly challenging him. The wall comes out as well. The grenade pushes back SK Wall, and the rocket launcher shuts him down. That's one op down.
Yep, great stuff by them. Just taking out SKR completely. Now it's all gonna be down to Go, but he whips! Doesn't land the shot on RVK, and Skargod's gonna find another one as well. This side has been opened up completely. They get the res up, so they take the operator at least, but yeah, I don't think they're gonna be going in for this 3v5 retake. It is almost impossible. At best, they're gonna be looking for some exit frags, and they're gonna be lucky if they find those even. Because yeah, it looks like Force One, they might be a little bit eager to hunt after seeing that jet being revived. Just try and take away that operator from their hands. Their own economy, though, is not looking... okay, never mind. It's looking pretty strong. So they can afford to do this. They've won 3 rounds in a row.
Fired up in a very risky position.
One dead.
Okay, gets
Hey.
RVK. That's one gun down. It isn't really going to damage too much, right? Or at least his position has been given out. So there's always that risk of coming out of the other end of the tunnel and finding someone.
Yep. Well, looks like they're going to be putting their weapons into the next round. The side of Team Cohesion. 2 rifles and an operator. Not bad at all. Could even look to buy up again. We pick up a Spectre or a Bulldog on Omkar. He's going to be a Spectre. And yeah, looks like Cohesion can try and pull this one back. The issue last time around was just the excessive amount of utility that Force One dumped in to SKR's position. This time around, they're not going to have that same showstopper available. So yeah, peaks are going to be a lot harder. What kind of setup do they run though this time? They're going to put SK Vow towards the A main area instead. Hoping that he can find that initial pickup. RVK playing around the Viper walls for the time being. Brings it down, spots out SK Vow and gets that free pick. Not something he was expecting at all, and that's the operator rendered ineffective once again. As Force One, the world is their oyster now. Where do they go?
Knight Rider has time and time again opened up the B entrance corridor, right? Fired up, being challenged in mid. This can be tough for him to kind of hold back because look at this, 4 guys. 4 of them from Team Force One are looking to make something happen. Fired up again, going impressive, looking for a risky pick. This is a very one and done position that he's challenging, and finally Rafa finds him and puts him down the dust cone. Still looking for that Seekers, right? If the Seekers come out, I feel like the 3 players will be revealed, and the entire round is going to open up no matter what. Omkar still trying to make something happen with the orb, but at this point, I guess he's been completely shattered. Good boy.
Not much he can do in that situation. Another flash is going to come through. Nicer trying to finish this one back, but Whip doesn't even find Skargod. And now it's all down to Cone. With
30
14
seconds
HP
left.
to his name, he's in no spot to clutch this round in a 1v5 situation. Maybe a clutch of a
All came crashing
lifetime
down.
if he does get it.
It all came crashing down for Team Cohesion, honestly. They were looking for an pretty strong. But then suddenly Team Force One, they wake up, right? They start exploring the mid avenue. They start rendering SK while useless. They start taking him down right at the start. And that has been the reason for their downfall, I feel like. Because once you take away mid from the game, we've talked this time and time again, right? Mid is essential, both in Ascent and in Split. And Cohesion, they've had this thing in them that they leave mid empty. They don't really expect a lot of pushes coming in. For example, Fired Up rushing in, SK WoW casually climbing up the rope, and all these events, they just tie up to prove the fact that Cohesion, they have that reluctancy to control mid. And that is one of the reasons why Team Force One is winning.
Absolutely. I mean, I feel like Force One, they've done a very good job just opening up that mid area time and time again. And it just always catches the side of Cohesion off guard that Force One commit so many resources to just try and get some mid control. Because Split is a bit of a weird map. I mean, if you get mid control, you can just slice that map open and just prevent them from coming back in. They have to go all the way around from sewers or even attacker spawn to get back towards the A side if that's where you plan your offense as the attackers. But Yeah, that mid control, like you said, just very, very crucial on this map. And it doesn't seem like Cohesion have done a good job of holding on to it for now. The first 4 rounds went in their favor, but it seems that now they are starting to struggle a little bit. And yeah, first one, they have enough. They have a lot of money in the tank. Not so much over on the side of Cohesion. They are gonna have some Vandals here and there, a couple of light shields, but everyone else is gonna be running Sheriffs and Frenzies, and it's all gonna be down to SK Wow and Nixera to find those kills.
Hmm.
Well, we wanted split and we got split, but question is this match gonna be close? As it's going, I feel like Force One are probably gonna take this by storm. I mean, it started off slow for them, but if they're able to put up 6 rounds on offense, then the defense is gonna be super easy.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Cohesion, they still have the room for improvement, right? I mean, mid has been a cause of problem. SK Wow has been venturing out too much. He can certainly change things up, right? This time around, he has a Vandal, and he is going aggressive. So, will he wait for a crossfire? Will he wait for everyone to just walk into his crossfire? That's a question. But elsewhere, that A push is certainly there. Viper and Sky, they are holding on to their position. SK Wow check, he gets one, dashes back to safety, has a player for backup. Rafa gets both of them down. And finally, the B side is completely open. Nitride has made his way in. Rafa has Heaven's Control. This is completely easy for them.
Nitride is going to continue pushing forward and look to find some more picks as Nixera, the sole survivor with a rifle.
No.
Oh, the timing, it's going to be so weird. Rafa does not spot him out. We'll finally see him though, takes him out as well. And there you go, that's the round done and dusted. Omkar, only a sheriff in his hands. If he can recover a rifle, that'd be the best case scenario, but Rafa's guarding that. He's gonna be killed as well. 4K for Rafa. I was doubting this guy's Owen, but man, he is good on it. He is not bad at all.
Sure. The way he got those 2 trades on both this guy and the Jet, that was insane. I didn't really expect him. I thought that he's going to get SK Wow, but Cone is there to kind of get the trade. But nope. Rafa gets both of them. He completely opens up the B Heavens area. Nitride, time and time again, he's been opening up the B main corridor. He just walks into it. And there's the B side. That's the B side for you. You don't really need to do anything about it. And Team Cohesion's defense suddenly is falling apart like a house of cards right now. Everything they try out, nothing is really working out for them. And I'm not even sure what is working out for Team Force 1, but their mid-aggression is certainly been crazy again. SK Wow on the risky angle, challenging time and time again. But this time it's Stargod, not even taking any sort of damage, shutting down SK Wow.
Okay, yep, fired up. He's aware of what could have happened. Takes out Knight Rider, walled of B main, and that's the wall wasted on, and the Sage dead, so no resurrections. In this round, Cone
Scout destroyed.
throwing that wolf forward, looking to get some information, spots out a
I've
couple of
got your
players.
trail.
But Omkar is going to get spotted out by those Seekers, gets 1 kill, and that's about as good as it gets. He couldn't have hoped for much more than that. Rafa throws out the Paranoia, but doesn't do all that much work. Nixera sprays them down with the Vandal. Your gun's not really that accurate when you're on the ropes there. And as a result, Nixera shuts down that push. It's all down to RVK in a 1v3. He's coming so far, they weren't really expecting him to be in that position. And now he's going to go back and try and retrieve the spike that is dropped near rope rooms. But can he actually get into position to do that? Fired Up coming in with a big flank himself. RVK not going to check that corner. And he's going to get taken out by Fired Up. As Fired Up and the rest of his gang, they're able to put up another round
in the half.
on this defensive half here.
Pretty struggled 5th round for them. I mean, they've worked hard for this. They've had to go through multiple ecos. They've had to survive those rounds. Couldn't really do that. Lost 6 rounds on a trot, but finally getting that 5th round on board is going to restore that little bit of confidence which they needed. And Omkar, I feel like he's kind of down with that 2-kill mark. Has been struggling quite a lot, but I just hope that this man comes back to his Reliant best. This time around, Team Force 1, they're looking to go aggressive on the A side. Stargard already is making his way in. The Paranoia comes out as well, but doesn't really blind anyone. Omkar gets 2 of that brilliant spray down. But Shady finally trays him. That's not the job done because Nixera does have the lockdown available.
Oh no, Shivy. You see so much damage in that now. Swami throws down the lockdown as well, but Shivy does not get the kill in time. Rafa, gonna throw out that Paranoia, looking to take out that lockdown, gets 1 kill, but Nixera holds on to it. And looks like PLs are going to be detained inside that ult. Nope, they are not. RBK is towards heaven. That alarm bot comes on top of him, but does not get triggered. The poison cloud's going to be there along with the Viper Snake. Oh, it takes Lakhs out. And he's going to pick out and get another one as well. Fired up, gets killed. And RBK finally, when it matters for his team, clutches it out. And he's going to be feeling so happy about that.
How is that humanly possible? It was a 1v3. You weren't supposed to do that, RBK. That's not allowed. Is that allowed?
No, last time I checked, it's illegal. You are liable to be sentenced to prison and a fine of 50 lakh rupees. But it's RBK, so they're gonna let it slide. They really like him, the cops.
Dude, the man just performed a 1v3 11 HP clutch. He gets one on heaven, that's fine. He has been one-tapping everybody to oblivion time and time again in this best of 3. That's understandable. He had 2 guys. That was an open plant. Good stuff over there, right? He deploys that poison cloud. He deploys that snake bite. Wonderfully positioned. And they had no answers for him. And even fired up, he was at full HP, but he couldn't really get the guy. This guy is so mechanically skilled. But this time around Team Creation, they'd like to do something aggressive. Knight Rider.
Well, take out RBK, so the Viper wall is going to be going down soon enough. It's only Knight Rider to hold on to the side. Onta's going to find Scargod elsewhere. He peeks out, gets spotted by 3 people and taken out. Rafa threw out the paranoia to help his buddy out, but couldn't do much in that situation. Looking to break that wall with his classic, and yep, that's why you sort of take your knife out. Well, bomb is going to be planted. Chevy not really in position to help out Rafa, so this is him against the world. That Wolf doesn't do all that much. Rafa finds one. Rafa looking for the second, does not connect. Waiting for Chevy to come in. He's gonna be fired up, ends up getting blinded by his own Sky Splash. Chevy's good for one, looking for the second pick as well. Isn't a bit of an open position here. Hard for him to take 1v1s in this scenario. He's gonna get double peeks, and there you go. It's the end of that. Chevy is gonna get killed as the side of Cohesion put up a round on offense for them. Good start for them. Needed one as well at that, because they were down by 2 rounds. If the side of Force 1 picked up this round, then they could have potentially just run away with the game. But now, thanks to the pistol win, they're gonna slow them down a little bit, prevent them from getting up to that first buy round right off the bat, and yeah, once again, it's going to be an A-main rush. That seems to be the idea for the side of Cohesion here. United we stand, divided we fall.
And pretty much with Spectres, you don't really expect something else, right? They have the upper hand. RVK does have the sheriff as well, so you can expect some ugly picks from him. Not ugly, I would say dirty picks from him, but okay. Changing plan, all of them. We go to Sewell, and we have to find Rafa. He dings one, but that's about it. Olga is going to find him. That's 1 man down. Again. Even another frag comes in. Yes, KWA is going to get Scargod. It's 2 players down. A 5v3. And this team is like a hype train. They just keep running and they just keep driving by everybody. RBK with the sheriff. Now this time it doesn't work because SKY is back to his ravishing best. Cone finds Knight Rider. Chevy through the ropes. Gives away the sound cue. Physical cues as well. The alarm ball gets triggered. Finally the man jumps to save himself. What are you going to save? The classic?
Maybe he can get a kill. Oh, nice. I was only going to allow that. Just refires him and takes him out. As Force 1, quick second round for them. Now they're going to go up to a buy, have rifles, vandals, phantoms, everything that they want except the operators and the Odins. And yeah, they should be in a good spot now. Question is, can they hold on? I mean, are they going to be able to anticipate what the side of Cohesion are going to do next? So far, it's been pretty caveman-like with their straight-up A-main rushes. This time around, they're going to try to play it out a little bit differently, with them stacking up towards that Crabs area. Gonna peek out and maybe try and take out the wall, the imaginary wall that the side of Force 1 have not put up in mid. Instead, they're saving up that wall. Looks like they've walled off A-main instead for the time being. And they're gonna leave Scargod over here on the race. This is also a very viable strategy. Just having the boom bot as well as those paint shells towards this mid area just buys you so much time and gives you a lot of information. There you go, SKR is gonna get spotted. RVK gets smoked off. Those paint shells delaying the push for a long time. And also dealing a little bit of damage over to the members of Cohesion.
It all comes about tunnel vision in your opposition, right? SK while when he gets Scargod, he does get Scargod, but takes a lot of damage in return as well. Shady in prime position. Again, RVK comes in from the backstab. I guess they are prepared for it, but no, they actually turn back. And it's gonna be disastrous. You're jumping, but Knight Rider fight 3. He gets more. Holy hell, fired up! He finally puts an end to Knight Rider shenanigans, but a 1v2 required off him right now. Oh my goodness, what was that, Knight Rider?
Insanity is what that was. They all decided to jump into roof room and just met Knight Rider. And Knight Rider wasn't feeling particularly merciful. Nice paranoia. Fire Up's gonna back
One
one.
enemy
He's gonna
remaining.
get another kill. No, can he clutch this one out in a 1v1 against Shivy? And Shivy might not anticipate Fire Up coming in and peeking him from the other side. Shivy is not gonna turn around at the right time. But Fire Up misses.
Hawk out.
Still has a lot of HP remaining. That flash not really gonna spot him out, and Fire Up knows. He knows where Shivy is gonna come from. Spots him out and takes him out. And even though Knight Rider found himself a 4K, Fire Up's like, I'm gonna do one better. I'm gonna win this round for my team, Knight Rider. Can you do that?
Certainly.
Yeah, just rub the salt and right in the wounds. I mean, Knight Rider, he has to be feeling upset about that. There's no way on earth he does not. He has to be thinking to himself, you know, I managed to get myself a 4K in a position where I had no business getting any kills whatsoever. And my teammates couldn't do a 2v1. That has to hurt.
I mean, that's unfortunate, but Fired Up, he really played well there. So you've got to give credits. And expecting him to kind of do the same thing, right? And this is interesting stuff because Team Fortune, they're actually pushing up mid this time around. They have the Viper Wall set up in a very precarious position. They tunnel vision most of the players from Team Cohesion to go the B's main area. They have that lingering presence A as well, but does Team Force want to aggress any further? That's a question because they have enough information already. They have a lot of real estate as well to work with. They can work in for a backstab through B main, but do they have enough resistance front on in the B entrance? Cargod with the Sheriff, that's about it. That's the only piece of resistance that Team Cohesion is going to face mostly. And with the wall, even that has been completely cancelled out, right? And they can actually these players and take them out one by one, and that's what it does.
Well, REK is good for one with the Sheriff, but that's pretty much all he finds in the
Spike
mid area. There's
planted.
only going to be one rifle that they managed to get their hands on. Close one. This defense is going to be hard for them to pull back. Skargov is going to get taken out once again, and look at that. Omkar and SK out just lighting up the kill feed. Shivy trying to jump and spot on anyone with a classic. Knight Rider takes his judge out, but doesn't do all that much work in close one. Once again, not able to hold on as Cohesion up 2 rounds now.
I wanted to see some judge action for a long time, honestly. I love the judge.
Yeah, of
especially in
course
this
you
map.
do.
I mean, imagine being a Raze and double saddling all the way from there and judging everybody. Judging, I mean, not literally judging.
I would never know that feeling because I'm always the person who feels, so I always find myself on initiators, controllers, or sentinels. But I
Oh, you
imagine
don't
that must be
insta-lock?
fun. The only thing I insta-lock is Sova because I feel like no one else plays a decent enough Sova. But yeah, apart from that, I
The
don't.
world
really
needs a
feel
lot of
about that much.
Lokis.
I'm not too sure about that. Well, for now, Force One need a couple of rounds because they haven't really found any on the defensive half so far. They found themselves those first 2, but ever since then, it's just been Cohesion all the way around. It's like this time around, they might be able to actually find something. Shivy's gonna try to use his wolf, spot out any presence outside A main, and he doesn't see anyone. That should give him an idea as to what they're trying to do here. Nike set out that sentry gun soon enough is gonna time out, and if someone goes forward, it spots it out. They didn't know that this kid is coming in towards B. RBK holding on to that mid area with the Viper is gonna be successful in taking out SK Wow. Gonna get healed up as well. The Seekers come through, revealing 2 players towards mid. That's all the information that they needed to work with. And yeah, Poison Cloud comes through once again. Skargod gets spotted, but still, Force One in a 5v4, all they need to do is run the clock down now. All the incentive is, or all the onus is on the members of Cohesion. That is an interesting wall. It protects them from a little bit. The rest comes through, but Skargod is not able to get the kill. Chili goes forward and finds the kill, and Knight Rider comes in from the backstab. And once again, Cohesion, they try to force and funnel their way from that B mid towards that B main entrance, but sorry, B heaven entrance, and they all get slaughtered, much like they got slaughtered in rope room.
The 5v4 was quick, actually. I didn't expect the 5v4 to finish in a blink of an eye. The kill fade extended quite a lot. I mean, I have never seen so many kills happen in that short span of a time, but honestly, didn't expect that push coming in, right? They had a 2-2 split. Team Cohesion could have worked something out, but they weren't getting the frags. They weren't getting that opening picks, which Team Force One has been doing so good, right? They are not giving away information. They're not giving away any sort of hints as to what their setup looks like. And every time they try and do something different, SK, wow, spots one guy. That's about it. The Scar God is going to finish him up. The nade comes in as well. The ultimate is going to push him back. There's an ultimate, Omen ultimate as well that's been cancelled.
I've got your trail.
RVK has lost the ultimate, so there's no push coming in from that area, but they're going to continue pushing in from A main, even though they don't have the numbers advantage. Omkar will find one, RVK will get the return kill, but still has to contend with a lot of members from the side of Cohesion. Looking to drop that poison cloud. But still, 2v2 scenario and both teams fairly healthy. Knight Rider coming in from the big, massive flank. He actually finds someone. There you go. That wolf is probably going to spot him out. Knight Rider. Oh, wait, it doesn't actually spot him out. They doesn't see him. Knight Rider might be able to go forward and find himself a kill. Fired Up is not looking. Cole is going to go down for free, and that's it. This round is done and dusted. Fired Up, all alone in this corner, is going to get spammed down, and Force One for this round on board for them. That wolf not going all the way, and as a result, they end up losing out.
Blasphemous.
Dude, this can go either way. I mean, Force One as well as Cohesion, they're knocking blows at each other. They're for sure knocking the hell out of each other, but I mean, I kind of need a therapist at this point because I'm feeling anxious. Who's gonna win?
I don't know, man. I think this is going to go either way. The economy is looking really good for Force One. You know, they've won a couple of rounds for themselves. Actually, no, it's not looking that good. You look over to Shivi and Rafa, they don't have enough money to put together a good buy. So, Knight Rider is probably going to drop one of them. The other one's going to have to make work with a Spectre or a Bulldog. Over on the side of Cohesion, you don't have money on code to buy, but everyone else can buy, so I'm guessing it's going to be a buy round coming in from them. And, yeah, it doesn't seem like anyone has really had a clear advantage in this second half here, Salty. It seems that both teams are really struggling to get into the driver's seat and pushing and shoving and pulling against each other, but really haven't found the reins of this game so far.
It's been a game of momentum, honestly, because you press tab and you look at the series of rounds every team has been getting for them. It's been either 4 rounds, 5 rounds, 6 rounds on a trot or nothing. Right?
Absolutely.
And that kind of goes to show that this map of split kind of works in a pendulum form of fashion, right? I mean, you get to see one team reaching the extremes and winning rounds back to back, and then suddenly the momentum shifts and you have that economic advantage, you have that positional advantage as well, where you can get all the frags and just make things work for you.
Get out of my way.
But at this point, it all comes down to ground zero, right? After 18 rounds, we basically have established no lead whatsoever. For sure, there's some sort of economy working for each other, but it's 9-9 and anything can happen at this point. And again, in Cohesion, they're trying to make something happen in mid. They have that lingering presence in A as well as B main.
Yeah, I mean, this is something that Force One have been doing time and time again. They're leaving it completely open and leaving it open for Scargod. RBK as well as Knight Rider, they're both playing towards the A main area. And SK, well, sure, he's going to be able to push into B heaven, but he's going to run into 3 players who are holding on to that B side. In fact, looks like Shivi is going to be making his way towards A. They're suspecting that this is going to be an A push for some reason. And it seems that it seems that Cohesion not showing presence on any part of the map has left side of Force One scratching their heads. They're gonna throw out a paranoia, doesn't really catch anyone. And now that Killjoy ultimate is gonna reveal the fact that they are trying to make their move towards the B side, but they're moving. Oh no, he made noise, and look at that, SK is gonna try to capitalize, but gets punished instantly. And there you go. They're gonna walk into an empty A site. Heaven area needs to be covered though.
30 seconds
and there you go.
left.
That smoke comes in from Omkar in the nick of time to make sure that they are able to get on site and get the plant down. The Sage Wall hold on from the defender spawn push. But still, they need to sneak in here. Scargod
Spike planted.
gonna break that barrier off with his Vandal. And that smoke comes in from Omkar once again. Nixera.
Etc.
Oh boy, in a good position, but they know where he is. Rafa. Oh no, he turns around at the worst possible time, but then turns back in. And okay, there you go. Shivi's gonna be able to take out Gold. Rafa ended up flashing to his own teammate, it seems. And Scargod gets fired up as a result. Omkar, the Seeker, hits him, so he doesn't really see anything for the time being. For quite a while, and Shivi is gonna find Omkar at the end of it.
Wow.
At that. Force One somehow managed to take this one back. They gave up the A side completely, but that retake comes through.
You know what? Force One setup is actually not a traditional split setup, right? Generally, we put the Sage wall in mid, but this time around, Force One, they placed the mid wall in A. They placed the Sage wall in A, which basically kind of focuses all your attention to the mid and the B corridors. They put 2 players in mid, they put 2 players in B, and they put one guy. That's, I believe, yeah, they put Knight Rider in the A side all by himself. But fired up, the Sage from Team Cohesion, he has been breaking that wall time and time again. He has been establishing that A presence time and time again. As a result of which, Knight Rider has to leave mid corridor and has to join Knight, or rather, RVK has to leave mid corridor and join Knight Rider in the A side. This time around, they do the same thing. In fact, they wall on mid. So SK Wow actually gets a free roam. Shivy spots him. Will he spray him down? That's the question. Tags him a lot. But RVK with the snake bite. He finds SK Wow. That's good stuff right there.
Oh yeah, RVK finding that kill, and there you go, another kill as well. They take out Omkar thanks to Shivy's Wolf. And that's it. Looks like Cohesion's attack is been shut down completely. Not like they had much of an attack to begin with. Those satchels just being evaded masterfully by Cone, but
I got the spike.
yeah, it's kind of an obtrusive feeling, just getting harassed and pushed around by those satchels from Raze.
For sure. Nobody wants to be on the receiving end of it. You sure want to be on the other side. Scargod, he finally finds a frag. Chevy in prime position, take down Nike.
One enemy remaining.
This attack
Spike
has
down
been
A.
completely broken down, all because of the mix-up, right? Fire Up still finding himself. He did away the sound cue, so Knight Rider will know that Fire Up is coming in from him. But I mean, I love the fact that Knight Rider is repositioning himself time and time again. He's walling A, he's walling mid, and man, I still can't believe that last round didn't really go in their favor. The one where they used lockdown, they faked B, and then they tried to go A. SK Wow was in such a good position, but then RVK spots him, and suddenly SK Wow had the urge to just jump into the vents and try and take them down. He meets 2 players staring right at him with the guns.
Yeah.
This is just so sad, but again, Force One, they look dominant. They look to be closing this out, but what are your thoughts, Floki? Do you think they're gonna win this?
Well, I think Cohesion have a chance here. This is their last buy round before they have to go in for the Hail Mary play. And yeah, given the fact that they have not really shown a lot of presence mid, is going to alert Force One to something about a push coming in from either one of these areas. Might actually end up confusing inside of Force One as well. Eskimo gets Shivy, but REK is quick to get that trade, and Nike has pushed out. The Paranoia connects on him, and there you go. Rafa picks up an easy kill for himself. It's the end of that fight up, looking for a push in here, disrespecting the smoke, and Rafa quickly punishes him, but Cone gets the trade through that smoke. Okay, Knight Rider gonna resurrect Shivy elsewhere on that A site, making it a 4v2 for his teammates. Scargod though, that spike has been dropped in such an awkward position. There's no way on earth Omkar can recover it. Look at that, Scargod already knows where he's gonna come from, but Omkar is gonna get that kill nonetheless. Gonna go back up, looking to find RVK, but on ropes, you're not that accurate. He's trying to go forward, but doesn't find the kill, looking for the one tap. And now, do or die for Cohesion. They did well to take the first map away from the side of Force One, but faltered on Ascent, and this is it. Whatever they can string together, they must, because after this round, they are done for. They need to play for overtime. They fought well, but yeah, it's not over just yet. They could potentially take this to overtime. I don't want to count them out. I just hope for Force One's sake they don't choke out.
That's the only possibility. I feel like it's all for Force One to lose. I don't feel like the way they've been playing, there's any chunk in their armor right now. Situation. They've been finding players everywhere.
I've got
They
your
try and
trail.
experiment, they try and pull off a new set piece. It gets confusing. Look at this. The Seekers come out. Cone. He gets one, but Knight Rider trades him out. The ultimate from Omen comes in as well, but they're gonna allow that, right? SK Wow hasn't picked up back. So it's a 4v4. The attacking team does have something to work with, but the reverse Seekers are there, so that's gonna give away some sort of information.
Yeah. That's weird. They need to fix that. The Seekers always try to go through the friendly barrier up, but never seem to go above it. Enemy barrier walls they detect, but they can't detect their own. Weird. Well, for the time being, looks like Force One are gonna have to worry about a teammate push coming in. Scargod's playing spotter and he sees them. Snitching on them. The wall comes through. Knight Rider looking to go up, gets a big spot, one out, takes the head off, and there you go, Knight
Spike
Rider
down,
almost getting
B.
himself the ace in that situation. Scargot still alive, 150 HP to his name, looking to play around with the satchel, spots out the sage, takes him out, and RVK cleans up.
Defenders
Post
win.
one. It was long, it was arduous, it was hard fought, but in the end, they take the W as they managed to beat out the side of Cohesion. Cohesion, though, kudos to them, they really made Force 1 work for it. It was a much closer affair than I anticipated early on.
Yeah, I guess the 2-1 Force 1 prediction actually came true. I thought that they're going to clean sweep Team Cohesion, but Team Cohesion actually took down. I mean, the scoreline suggests it's like 2-1, but it's been very close most of the maps, right? It was close in Haven, it was close in Ascend,
Yep.
and now it's close in Split. So it could have gone either way. I mean, I still feel it could have gone either way, but the fact that none of these teams actually give away any position, they still try and go hard at each other till the final breath. It's a good sign. It's a good sign. I feel like Team Cohesion, they've done enough being a good new team in the circuit, being a new organization. And Team Force One, of course, they live up to their name.
Absolutely. Great stuff by them. Let's quickly jump into the match highlights and see exactly what went right for Force 1 and see what they did well. Things started off great for Cohesion. I mean, they were the ones who had the advantage, if I recall correctly. Force 1 was sort of fighting an uphill battle, and it seemed for a second that Cohesion might actually run away with this best of 3, but then that second half kicked in, and Force 1 showed us why they made it to the lower bracket finals last time around, and that they're not a team to be underestimated. But yeah, I have to say, Cohesion have still colored me impressed. I wasn't really expecting much out of their squad, but yeah, it seems like they're going to be a serious contender in the season 2. Unfortunately, today, they were not able to win out against Force 1 despite winning that first map, but it does mean that even though they lost, they get 1 point salty for their troubles because they won that first map.
Absolutely. And I feel like this has worked perfectly. The first setup where Fired Up was playing the Jet wasn't really the best in terms of ways of getting the first pick. Fired Up was really struggling with the open ways. But with the Sage, especially in positions where he could support his other players like SK Wow or Omkar, etc., he was working perfectly. And I feel like that can definitely work with little tweaks here and there in terms of Asian compositions with I don't know, maybe coordinations and etc. They can work perfectly fine and they can function as a team as a whole, and they can certainly take down top dogs in this tournament.
Yeah, they most certainly can. I mean, Team Cohesion are not someone that you want to take lightly at all, and this match is proof of that concept. But Cohesion still have some things that they need to work on if they really want to contend against the likes of Velocity and Global Esports. It's not going to be an easy journey for them in this group because there are some sort of strong teams in here. First one, of course, being one of them, and they've learned that the hard way. But still, I'm going to be keeping my eyes on Cohesion. I feel like this roster is going to achieve some things that not a lot of people are going to expect it to achieve, and who knows, we might even see them, in the playoffs, making it to the semis or the quarters. But that's a long ways from now. There's a lot of group stages matches to go before that, and yeah, I really want to take a moment to call out RVK and his performance. He's been absolutely consistent on all 3 maps. He's been performing on every single one of them, and yeah, when needed to step up for his team, he's done the work. So really, shout out to RVK, man. That guy single-handedly just shutting down pushes for his team and holding on to his position, just making sure that they're not able to come in and they're not able to get to that site for free.
Absolutely, I guess RVK and Nitride especially has been brilliant. Nitride, it doesn't really matter what agent he plays. He plays the Chet, he plays Sage, he shines in both of them. And that is something which you really need, right? An RVK being on the Viper, being on the Cypher, being on KJ, this man has shined in every one of them. So again, right, I feel like Force One, they could have done better. They should have taken it 2-0, I still feel, because of the fact that I always talk about Force One being one of the top tier teams. You always find them in the lower bracket finals or competing against top dogs in the semi-finals of tournaments. So I'm not sure if they're going to be practically happy with this performance. I feel like this is a very early stage of a tournament. So there are certain things which you can fix on the course of it. But yeah, if they really want to win season 2 of TC Gauntlet, they need to practice a lot of different things. Talking about team cohesion, they need to get their mid stuff fixed up. They need to really, really focus down and kind of put players down mid if they want to reach the playoffs.
Yeah, I feel like Their mid defense was not half bad. I mean, but in Ascent, there were so many times where they just left that mid open. In all honesty, I think that was very intentional by them. I think they were
Yeah.
trying out something. They were seeing what happens when they just play from the sides instead of trying to control mid and just try to sandwich those players inside mid. If they do try to go towards either side from the defender spawn area, but with all that stuff aside, it is going to be Force One who end up taking the win. So kudos to them. Shout out to them for being able to do so. But yeah, keep an eye on Team Cohesion, folks, because these guys, they might be snagging a win here and there that you don't expect. Well, we're going to cut to the analyst segment, but before we do that, we're also going to go for a short break. We'll be back. Until then, you're watching LG Ultragear presents the Esports Club Gauntlet Season 2, powered by WD Black and AMD Ryzen Radeon.